Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest Freebooters. It's been a while, but here we are. And due to popular demand, we do have a tier list of desktop environments and window managers lined up for you. So that'll be something to look forward to. But I want to start off with a topic that both of us are heavily irritated by, and I kind of want to talk about it just so we can get it out of the way, and I can add the filters on my Mastodon feed without feeling like I'm missing out, right? You know what this is? Bluesky is the thing everyone's talking about, which is, I'll be honest, a bit shit. But everyone on Mastodon's talking about it. A lot of people are moving over from Twitter, and I kind of just want to air our thoughts on it and move on, if that's okay.
That's good. Honestly, the only thing I've seen regarding Bluesky on Mastodon is people posting about how they're seeing too much stuff about Bluesky on Mastodon. That's the only, and that in itself is fucking irritating.
Yes.
I think you boosted one today that was like, "Why is everybody talking about Bluesky?" And I replied to it saying effectively that the only posts I see are these ones, and that's annoying. Stop it.
Yeah.
I didn't say stop it, but
yeah. So,
or rather, if your feed is clogged with people talking about Bluesky, unfollow these. Who wants to follow somebody who's talking about fucking Bluesky?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm quite a generous follower. I'm going to just add Bluesky to the filters now, just to opt myself out of the conversation.
Yeah.
But because the thing is, right, I've got a pretty solid opinion on what Bluesky is, right? To me, Bluesky is just a replacement for Twitter, right? Twitter's turned into the Nazi bar. So yeah, it makes sense that people are looking to Threads and Bluesky for another place. The people that kind of enjoy old Twitter are not the same kind of people that enjoy Mastodon, right? People that like Mastodon are a little bit more interested in how things work, a little bit, a little bit geekier. Like, I mean, I would even go so far as to say that Mastodon's a better replacement for Google Plus than it ever is for.
I think adding to what you're saying, I think people on Mastodon are less rulesy. Like Twitter, rulesy. I think Twitter users, every time there's an exodus from Twitter, which hopefully there won't be anymore because Bluesky and Threads will suck them up. But they would come in and say, this place doesn't do this right. This place doesn't do this right. We have, it's coming over with its sort of like ideas about how a community should conduct itself and trying to bring them over to Mastodon. And if there's a valid reason behind some of their desires, then fair enough. But I think we're like, it's an inherently kind of anarchistic place. It's like if you don't like something, it's not, there's no mods to go. I mean, there are mods, but you know what I mean? You don't appeal to an authority. If you don't like something, don't follow it, block it. I see these posts a lot about, friendly reminder, some people are bothered by XYZ. Can you please CW your politics post, CW, to the point where if we obeyed these people, everything will be CW'd.
Yeah.
And I have very severe anxiety disorder, and panic disorder. There are times when, like, reading the wrong thing can set me off and, make me have a panic attack, which can, fuck up a week. But to my mind, like, obviously certain things should be CW'd, like gore, talk of, like, violence, if you're talking about sexual assault or something like that, things like that should be CW because they affect people broadly and extensively. But things that are very specific to a very, small subgroup. But what I'm saying is it's up to me. When I'm feeling like that, I should, I can switch my filters on. I can have like a second account that's like more safe things to follow. It's up to me to manage that. It's not up to the community at large to manage that. And I think that's more the spirit of Fedi, whereas Twitter wants to appeal to an authority, wants rules, wants, that was very long-winded, but I hope you understand what I mean.
Yeah, and I mean, that is distinctly like the crux of it, though, isn't it? Like, Fedi is like the high seas, and you can join a server that, like, if you're in a particularly vulnerable community or something, you can join a server that protects that community. You have options, but you have to have the initiative to explore those options, learn about those options, also learn about the culture. Like, a lot of people come over here with a Twitter attitude, and then they get their ass handed to them. And then they go, "Oh, Mastodon's very mean," and it's like, well,
Mastodon's unfriendly.
Like it's like if you go into a bar of a very different culture to you, you sort of make the initiative to actually learn a little bit about the culture that you're
especially when it feels a bit like because Mastodon leans, it leans queer, it leans trans, it leans, very left wing, it leans various sort of, it leans people with mental health problems, it leans autistic or spectrum disorder or whatever. And it's a bit like, hen parties coming into the gay bars and then telling the gay bars they're doing it. It has that feel to it. I say that with a slight caveat that I think Twitter leans a bit more. I think there was a very solid black community on Twitter.
Yeah,
and I think they have specific needs. Not needs is too far, but you know what I mean. I'm putting that aside slightly, but broadly, it feels like a bunch of Karens coming into our socialist bookshop that's run by queers and and telling us we're doing it wrong.
Someone describes it as a rural tea rooms run by a darling gay couple.
Yes, I like that one. I think you boosted that one, and I enjoyed that one. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah,
and
we're not. I mean, I would say I'm genderqueer. I'm somewhere by, but not. I don't feel strongly enough in any of that to necessarily identify as queer. I'm not a representative of the queer community, so I don't speak on their behalf. But everybody on Fedi is a bit of a outcast is too strong, but you know what I mean. We're people who've had to make our own spaces.
Yeah, and also actually, to be fair, I sometimes feel a little bit the same. Like in my younger days, I was a lot more I don't know, practicing bisexual, I guess. And nowadays, as I get a bit older, I don't know, I have less enthusiasm. I just want to, I don't have the sort of the going out, meeting people, hooking up. Kind of,
and it's easier to default to.
Yeah, and it's easier to default to heteronormativity.
I'm celibate at this point, voluntarily celibate. I can't be asked.
Can't be asked to clean the piss wall.
But I'm definitely not necessarily in terms of my presentation, but I do not believe in gender whatsoever. I will have no part of that.
Yeah, I think in my heart I am a gender abolitionist, we sort of follow the paths tread by society and people before us, but I don't really care for it. Well, first of all, I don't really care for it as any kind of thing that is legislated, right?
No.
I don't necessarily see why we need to have things like gender on a passport or any sort of legal documentation or anything like that.
Yeah, for whom does that matter, and at what point for the legal system?
If it's it might be different when you're talking through with your doctor, but they have usually a bit more of a extended way of describing your sex and gender and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, if there's a legitimate reason, for it, then that's one thing. But I don't see why the government has to kind of be involved in your gender. It's all.
I mean, worse is the social and cultural construction of what the genders are supposed to be, and that's all. It's all nonsense. Don't conform to that.
It's totally nonsense, and it moves all the time. I think. And I don't want to necessarily hand wave this too much, but it does feel like American consumerism uses gender as a marketing tool.
You gotcha, yeah. There's so many products that this will make you a man. This will. You're not a man if you don't buy that. You're not a real man if you don't buy this. And
exactly. See, I have a tiny hairdresser car, and it's it's practical. It runs great on fuel. The parts are easy to replace. It's tiny on the country roads, right? If a smaller car can go around those corners with a lot more space to spare, nimble. I would much rather drive my little hairdresser car than I would drive a Range Rover or anything like that, because the size of them just makes them cumbersome. I wouldn't even feel safer in them if I'm completely honest. I feel much safer.
Well, the thing is, neither of us are. I wouldn't say insecure in our masculinity, but I mean, I don't even feel masculine. I don't ascribe to that, but we're certainly not insecure in our masculinity. So it's easy for us to to opt out. If that makes me, makes me think of people, makes people think of me as less of a man, then I see that as a positive thing. Really, I don't want to be seen as a man. That's not the social construction of what a man is supposed to be. Is not something I want to be, and not something that I feel that I am. Yeah,
I mean, I feel maybe extraordinarily privileged in that I don't feel like I have to be a man, and it doesn't really affect me.
No,
I mean, I live in a somewhat military town, so we get squaddies from all over the country passing through, getting drunk, being lads, and even they don't give a shit. They're
no, I don't. Yeah.
If anything, they see me as less of a threat. I'm not I'm I'm just, there's no point in giving a shit. Most people don't give a shit. That's kind of the key to life.
That's it. And that is contrary. We don't want to get into it again. We always say it, but into Dagoth territory. But the sort of the way that the Dems, as in the Democratic Party, construct things. The working class are racist, intolerant, homophobic, transphobic. It's like I live in a working class village, and like it's this is hyperbolic, but it's like every family either has like a close family friend or a member of the family who is a trans kid, and it's like they want to protect these. They love these people. They want to protect them.
Yeah. It's. I think a lot of cases. I think the internet discourse is quite like it helps in some ways and harms in others, because when you're talking to people that real people, it's so much like more natural to empathize with them, to sympathize with them.
It's necessary. I think it's absolutely necessary, yeah. And the problem is ID politics and sort of race or gender or whatever essentialism. It's kind of a segregationist kind of movement, and it turns away from it. We should all be afraid of each other perpetually. We're all at war with each other perpetually, which is a very capitalist construction of how this all works. Familiarity is how we break down this shit. Yeah. It's not about policing language. It's not about policing purity. It's about people experiencing each other and seeing that it's just you're different from me. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, before everything else, we're humans, right? Like, everything else is relatively secondary to the fact that we're just. And
we're not diminishing. Like we are two white, male presenting, heterosexual coded or what? Like we're privileged in all those senses. So you can say it's easy for us to say that but like we accept that certain people are threatened in certain situations. But the way to combat that is not to entrench oneself in that fear and threat and
Absolutely. So yeah, but also as well is that the thing about the Fedi that I like is that it does kind of embrace that spirit.
I think so. Yeah. And Twitter's not used to that. Twitter wants the walls between we hate those people, those people hate us. We'll never understand each other. We can only talk to people of our own kind. Twitter's constructed like that.
I feel like the people that are going to Bluesky are basically sort of liberals, really.
Which is which again? I know I ask you this every single fucking time, but Threads and Bluesky, and is there another one as well? Are they basically it?
They're basically it. Which is which, and who's behind which? Threads is the Meta one, which I don't hear much about these days. It seems to be losing the Twitter wars.
Right.
And then you got Twitter X, which is basically sort of the conspiracy theory Nazi bar at this point. And then you've got Bluesky, which is basically Twitter 2.0 in every way.
Is it by the Twitter people?
I think Jack Dorsey was involved in its creation, but I think he's even left the board now. And I think the people that own Twitter are mostly...
So it's not connected to Twitter as a company?
No.
Right. Okay.
Except the VC people behind it are they're VC. Yeah. They're the usual VC tech bro kind of people.
Right.
So it's like the people that own Bluesky are still probably voting Republican. Like
or
at least certainly going to benefit from Donald Trump's tax plans. Like So it really is just.
Bluesky is essentially what Twitter was.
In so many ways, in 99% of the ways. The only way that it is different...
It doesn't use ActivityPub or anything. It's not interoperable with Fedi.
It uses the AT protocol, I think is what it's called, which is similar... Well, it's not similar. It aims to do a similar thing to ActivityPub, but I think it's like more corporate friendly.
Okay.
But generally some people sort of think that the AT protocol has some advantages, like not advantages, but like some merit to it, like the bridging. A lot of people like I bridge my Mastodon account one way to Bluesky, so you can follow me on Bluesky. All I did was follow was it bridge.fedi, something in that, like what we all know it, like everyone sort of boosts it around. And so basically all it really does is it allows people on Bluesky to follow me if they wanted to see me there. I don't have to set up an account there. I don't have to do anything like that. It sort of translates the protocol as a bridge should. And that is a very smooth way.
But if somebody followed you on Bluesky, would they comment on one of your posts on Bluesky? And if so, would you see it on the Feddy end, or is it not two-way?
Honestly, I don't know because no one's commented. I've got 8 followers on Bluesky or whatever. So I'm not interested. I'm just not. I'd be like I. No,
that's the thing. I'm not interested in Threads. I'm not interested in Bluesky. No, it's not. I'm not angry about it. I'm not. In fact, I'm kind of glad that it exists, so it can soak up those Twitter exoduses, so they don't come to us, which might sound elitist or whatever, but that's how I feel.
I know that I totally think that there is room for multiple Twitters. Like I'm not really invalidating the hoity-toity liberals that are leaving Twitter. They want another Twitter. They just don't want a Nazi bar Twitter. So they're going to Bluesky, and that's I fully endorse that decision. Like that is the right decision for them. Mastodon is not a one size fits all for everyone. It's in the same way that Bluesky might be liberal, Twitter and X might be sort of right wingy. Mastodon's anarchistic or anarcho-federalist or
it leans left, let's say, and that doesn't mean that left, we've got friends who are not leftists who are on Freddy and find it a bit too lefty, but they find a place there, and we can all go to the other, but you've got to go there accepting what it is.
Yeah, I mean there are right-wing Feddy instances.
Yeah. But nobody federates with them.
No one federates with them. There was a time when they were a little less unfederated, and I did pop over just to have. This is going to make me sound elitist, to have a look at the freak show.
And
it was very funny. I know. Again, this is privileged talking.
Yeah.
Because it's. I mean, to be fair though, when the Nazis come, they're going to come for lefties as well. We're not.
Oh yeah, no, they do. Yeah, and the mentally ill for sure.
And the non-masculine in a lot of cases.
The non-masculine, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and just
the boy kisses.
Yeah, So I look the part to fit into a Nazi bar, but you scratch the surface and it's all degenerates to them.
You don't even look the part.
I don't even look the part. Yeah, no,
I do. No, I could with the shaved head. I could, fit in there maybe, but not for long.
So. There is a place, there is a hole in the market for Bluesky. There's maybe a hole in the market for Threads for all I care. But the fact that you need an Instagram account to get a Threads account, Threads is Threads is just a front end for Instagram.
Not a face. You can't get it with a Facebook account. It needs to be specifically an Instagram account. Or are they the same thing now?
I think you can get an Instagram with a Facebook account and then a Threads account with an Instagram account, so you can sort of chain it, but. It's
also fucking alien to me, the corporate way of doing. I can't understand why. I'm happy that they're going there, but I can't understand wanting to go there.
I think they want an audience. They don't want a conversation.
Yeah, that's we always come back to that, don't we? And I think it's bang on.
Yeah. It's they want a glorified RSS feed. I've every now and then, whenever the conversation flares up, I used to have just an account over there, and then I got rid of that. And then every time the conversation flares up, I'll do a burner account with a burner email address just to have a look to see if it's changed or gotten better. It's always just it's just a bit boring. It's just boring. It's the same people saying the same things, and and I'm following accounts that post pictures of mushrooms, and I'm following accounts to do gardening stuff, and it's it's still boring. It's just boring, and to be honest,
liberals are boring.
Yeah, and I think even so far as to say that Instagram's probably Meta should have just stayed at Instagram. Instagram was fine.
Instagram's a success. That's one of the ones that they've managed to penetrate. Gen Z, whatever, which Facebook obviously hasn't. Stick with that. They all have to do everything, don't they? Because capitalism, they all have to be everything and do everything. Well, yeah.
I mean, we talk about capitalism a lot, but I'm starting to think that this is a little bit looking like a type of techno-feudalism at this stage, because it's there isn't really a capitalistic reason to have Threads. The capitalistic ideology would sort of indicate that put all your eggs into Instagram. That would be
no, but I mean, it is capitalist. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You're entirely right, but it is capitalistic in the sense that, like, we've created these entities that their goal is not to run a successful business. Their goal is to, obviously none of them can achieve, but their goal is to get all of the money.
Yeah,
all of the money in the world.
And it's captured, and it's also to scupper other businesses. Like Threads is not designed to like make money. It's designed to scupper X, Threads, to scupper Twitter, and probably be a competitor to Bluesky. So, capital is the governing force, but also pride and also, ego.
Yeah. A lot, yeah. Again, which comes back to how we've constructed masculinity.
Yeah. Because
none of these companies are founded by women. The ones that behave like this, I'm not,
That's
and I don't mean that. I don't mean that in the liberal way. We should shop at female-owned business. It's not the fucking point. The point is to deconstruct masculinity so people don't do this stupid shit.
Yeah. But I'm glad that we're insulated it from Mastodon.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'm gonna say the Fedi feels healthier. It feels like a place that is, I don't want to say booming, but it feels alive and it feels growing in a good way, in a sustainable way.
Yeah, and I like that when I open up Fedi. Yeah, it certainly feels sustainable. Like, it feels like it's been good and steadily good for a long time. It has its peaks and troughs, but usually those peaks and troughs come when a large amount of people from Twitter come to it.
Yeah. I think it's more about, like, not necessarily in terms of numbers of users, but like the spirit. People feel seem very. I think when the first couple of Twitter exoduses happened, Fedi was a little bit shaky in terms of how it should deal with that. Like, should we welcome? Should we change to accommodate them? But now I think we've got a stronger sense of who we are and a stronger sense of, like, if you come here, it's our rules. This, our house, our rules.
Yeah, and I think I like the chaos of it. I like that there is, like, people do talk about, like, Mastodon Social as being the big instance, but when I look down my feed, I very rarely actually see a Mastodon.social account.
Yeah, didn't I see something about certain places defederating from it and stuff? It's not
quite a lot of places defederate from social. A lot of people do. But
I don't see anybody on .social. No.
Yeah, I don't see anyone on .social. It's not because they're defederated. It's because I think the people on .social, they join and then they just go to Bluesky. Like, it's I know that in the earlier days of the Fedi, Eugen closed registrations to Mastodon.social. I think he even did it during one of the Twitter exoduses because he really wanted to spread out the Fediverse, and he realized that people were just realizing they can't sign up on .social, so they bounce. They just go. They're lost. So that's the reason why Mastodon Social exists as the big entity as it does. It's not really
another thing you see is not really directly related to that, but you see Hamish joined. Hello, Hamish.
Hey, Hamish.
You see a lot of people join from Twitter, and I think this is purely because it doesn't have the algorithm. They're not immediately presented with stuff that's algorithmically tuned to their interests. They've got to do the work of finding people to follow, so their reaction, there's nothing interesting on here. Like, you do have to put work in on Fedi to get a list of people that you find interesting. The default timeline is kind of so random that it's not going to be interesting to you. You need to seek people out.
Yeah,
and I think that is a healthy thing. I think having to put that effort in, it makes you feel it's almost like a little hurdle to weed out the certain kinds of people as well. But it gives you a sense of
authenticity. Like, if you're letting an algorithm, like, work out your personality, work out your mind.
Yeah.
I can't help but feel that puts you on a mental track that the sort of, I don't know, not to be too whatever, but like you're just a pig at a trough then. Yes.
You're not an active participant. You're just eating the slop.
Yeah, eating the slop. Hey, Hamish, how you doing?
Hello.
Hey, sound is great. Wonderful. Cool. We were just talking about Bluesky, but I'm going to imagine that you probably just missed the bit of the freebooters that you probably had no interest in whatsoever.
All right, the freebooter. Oh, sorry, you're doing a thing.
No, it's good.
Yeah. Hey, are you on board? Do you want to? We can crack on. We were going to do some.
Sure.
Your pose there was like you've got a wizard staff and you're leaning on it and you're gonna give us some wisdom.
Oh no wisdom. No wisdom.
Yeah.
I've got a peanut who's annoying me because I put my headphones on. So I'll be 2 seconds just bribing him or something. Okay.
Okay. No
And
worries.
then,
No worries.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be 2 seconds.
Cool. Okay, I've got another one. I got something else we can talk about while Hamish goes. It's just an annoyance, right? I'm literally just using this as a soapbox because it ticks me the hell off, right? So a lot of YouTubers, they do their sponsored segments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of them have been talking about Incogni, although I see less of them nowadays. It was a flavour of the month, maybe last month or something. And and it's basically the idea behind Incogni is that they go around to all these data brokers and they get your details removed by like legal requests and stuff like that.
Okay.
I did an impulse purchase on them a while back, and I sort of like had a look at their services, made use of them. They seem to be solving problems that didn't exist for me. Like I don't actually have a big spam problem.
Yeah.
I'm not super.
I think we're just sort of a bit. I don't want to sound like we're smarter or better educated, but we've been on the internet for a long time. We understand how this works, so we're not as free with our information. I mean, when I sign up for a lot of places, but aside from the ones that you have to, I don't give real information. Like nobody's got I give different false information on everything that I sign up for.
Yeah,
I've got my spam email account that I use for signing up for things, and that's literally all it's for. So I don't care what spam goes there.
Yeah, I've got I use one of the temporary email providers.
Yeah.
And so it's a different email for every account. Sometimes I've noticed on occasions it'll ask to verify from a new device or something like that. But if that's the case, I'll just sign up to a new account or something like that. It depends how much I care about it. If I really care about it, fine, I'll use my real address. Which, to be honest, my email address that I use is sort of mainly used for signing up to things, and
that's what emails kind of become, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and a little bit of official correspondence. That's the case of it.
I mean, we three of us, we communicate frequently, but we never email each other because
I just feel like it's a formal letter writing thing right now.
I kind of wish it was that. I like email a great deal, and I wish it was more still a thing, but it has just become a corporate notification system, really.
Kind of, yeah, but at least it's. I mean, I like my Postio. I like that it's run on open source. Postio. I like that they've got a good system for supporting their workers. They've got, it's environmentally friendly. It ticks all the boxes that I needed to tick. Also, they're one of those companies that claim that they don't really care about growth. They've hit a sustainable number of users.
Yes, yeah.
They're fine with that. It's like, I wish more companies would just.
Yeah, which is still, I mean, that's still capitalism, but it's early, it's small business capitalism. I don't have a problem with small businesses. Small businesses can be great.
I don't know. Like, good small businesses are good. Bad small businesses are bad, right?
Of course, but I think they don't have the inherent problems that they're not buying out their competitors and asset stripping things, and and they can't. I don't think they can really get away in the same way with exploiting the labour to the same extent. They're still taking the surplus, but
But the thing about Incogni that really pissed me off, the reason that I just want to use this little moment to soapbox them, is it was really difficult to delete my account with them. They were pretty forthcoming with the refund. I was like, look, it's less than 30 days. I don't think you're really benefiting me at all. I did sign up on a bit of an impulse, Am I eligible for the refund? Because and they go, yep, you're fine with the refund. So the refund part is all right? They weren't screwing me out the refund. But then, there was no easy way to actually remove my data from there. So
which is beautiful and perfect. Yeah.
So and also I did that because I was going through my KeyPass database. I was like, let's get rid of all the accounts that I don't use anymore. I do that from time to time, and I think PureVPN, who I think I even signed up with because they might have given me a free trial or something, or a very special rate. I had to email them to get them to delete my account. It's like, why do I have to email? Why is there not a button? And it's like
because they want to make it as difficult as possible. They want to keep a hold of all the data they can because that's what they sell.
Yeah,
information capitalism is it something like they call it?
I mean, that actually bothers me with the EU. I know you sort of you're a bit more sympathetic to the EU than I am, but when they bring in these protections, because they do good stuff, the EU, as regards data privacy and stuff like that, but they don't take it far enough. It should, we have this right to be deleted in the EU. If we contact a website and tell them to get rid of our data, which is what Incognito are doing, then they have to do it legally. But
we don't have that anymore.
But the fact that we have to contact each company individually means that nobody's going to fucking do it, and then you need a company It should just be you go to one site that is run by the EU, you press a button, and then it just fucking happens.
Yeah. It's that. I mean, that would be ideal. I mean, to be fair, to defend the EU, they are like one of the few entities that actually do fine.
They're doing something, but it feels all tokenistic rather than with the cookie protection stuff. It's a pain in the ass. Just make tracking cookies illegal.
I mean,
that's what they should have done. They've essentially said tracking cookies are bad. They're harmful. They're malicious. So we'll let you turn them off. Imagine that applied to other crimes, other antisocial behaviours.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, also, actually, and this is too late in the podcast now. We've got an own cast, haven't we?
Yes.
We've got an own cast.
It's very amateurish.
Very amateurish, just the way you like it. Hamish also has an own cast, by the way. So we will put. And Hamish actually streams a lot more than we do. I want to stream a lot more in December because it's like the evenings draw in, and it's So I'll put links to Hamish's and ours in the description because Hamish does a lot of good streams. Really enjoyed the Deus Ex last night. Actually, that was a good. I know it was a bit on the short side, but you were tired because of us, probably.
Yeah.
And I watched.
No. It's just situation at the moment.
I watched you doing things with your ST floppy disk.
Yes, that was
not live. I watched that one recorded on video.thepolarbear.co.uk.
Yeah, well, that's where all our good stuff is. I do think that we should at some point, as the Freebooters thing,
just go PeerTube only.
A little bit, but even though and I'm going to say it as it is, right?
Yeah,
when we do the desktop environment window manager tier list, that'll get a lot more views than most other views on the channel. Now, I'm not monetizing this. I'm not getting any money. The views don't entirely matter, but
when you're making stuff, you want anybody who would enjoy it to see it.
Yes, but also
and putting it on YouTube increases that net. But
yeah.
Go on.
But I also deeply believe in the Fedi, and I want the Fedi to grow, and I want to do what I can, as what little I can, as because I'm a small content creator. Certainly now, I know I've got some videos with 6-figure views behind me, but that's years ago. And I don't mind.
When we make these on the Fedi, they tend to get in the maybe up to 100 views is the top-ish, and then on YouTube they get 1,000-ish.
Yeah,
at the top end. So if anybody who would watch this on YouTube but would not watch it on the Fedi, comment and tell us why that is. I mean, I'm genuinely interested as to why you wouldn't watch it on Fedi, but you would watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, and also
I assume it's going to be habit to a large extent, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would be habit for me. It's why I don't watch Twitch streamers. Also, Twitch is awful, but as in not even just awful because it's owned by Amazon. It's awful because it's
a horrible experience.
Horrible experience.
Can I comment on that slightly?
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing I would say is that you're talking about habit. That's fair enough. The things that once people go to YouTube, then they're getting things presented to them, algorithm and all that sort of thing. That's fair enough, but a lot of the times when people watch a video or are going to watch a video or stream even, you don't go, for example, to YouTube and then start looking for freebooters. If you know there's a freebooters video, you just click the link. There's the latest freebooters, click. on like a chat or whatever, forum or wherever it is you find things.
It
Discord.
might be on YouTube itself. No. It might be on the little.
It might be. Yeah. But I'm not saying that's not a thing. I'm not saying that's not a thing. But quite often, if somebody says, "Oh, the new video's up," you just click the link. It doesn't. The where it's come from isn't really the important thing. It's the whatever.com/blah that is the entry point. And I think that's. Okay, your second video you watch, your third video you watch, you might still be on that platform. But quite often the new thing is up is just a link to people. It's not a platform. And that's, that I think that has some power in itself,
Yeah.
Sorry,
I mean, I've got a decent number of folks following me on the Feddy on Toot Wales. So usually if I toot things out a few times, it does sort of do quite well. And also a lot of it as well is habit from the other side. Like with Hamish, your streams are really good and I'd say pretty successful, but you do them with such a regularity, with such a schedule. I got to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I found with even when I was still using things like Twitch, is if you don't keep to a specific schedule, people lose track. And it's interesting because obviously we're in an age of, if you want to watch a TV show or whatever, or even a film, I suppose, you don't need to be there at the time it's on. But the live part of it is quite important, I think, for things like, for Twitch or PeerTube or whatever it is. Not PeerTube, sorry, Uncast or whatever. And it's people want to be there when it's happening, so they can get in the chat. And take part, as it were. And the thing is that doesn't exist with a VOD or because just for the same reason you can watch it anytime you want, that's fine, but you can't take part anytime you want. I think is the important point I'm trying to make there. So and I think a schedule keeps people thinking, it's Monday, it's whatever time of day,
Because I think, contrary to maybe Twitch does work like that for people who use it a lot, but I like YouTube as a service, and for me the algorithm actually works quite well. The only thing I object to with YouTube is how it's owned and how it's run. Like as a service, I would want, kind of like Amazon, I want it to just be nationalized. I want YouTube but nationalized, and then federated. So as a service, I like it, and I do think there are a huge number of people who do just go to YouTube and see what's new, see what's in the recommendations, see on the little list on the left who's made a new video. I feel like watching a such and such video today. I think that is because. I mean, of all the
it's part of it. It's part of it for sure. I'm not saying there isn't that there. But
that might even be the majority of views on YouTube that you get on YouTube. Right, so it's not people who follow you on Feddy, because all the people I follow on YouTube, I don't follow them anywhere else, with the exception of literally you. So I don't see them posting on Twitter. Oh, I've got a new video. I just happen to notice on YouTube. So I do think that's a big part of it. So in that sense, it's convincing people to use PeerTube, at least for now, as well as YouTube. Go to PeerTube sometimes when you fancy watching something, see what's there.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is the Bluesky versus Feddy kind of thing again with YouTube, is that YouTube does kind of fill it feels to me, but this is very much a feelings-based sort of analysis, is that PeerTube is, when it works, community-based. Whereas YouTube has community bits, but most of the stuff I watch on YouTube are shows. Like the guy walking in a straight line across Wales and England. Like, I'm not expecting interaction or community from that. I'm expecting to watch a TV show on YouTube.
No, I think the interaction argument is a good point, but I think it's a separate point. That relates to the live stuff rather than the because honestly, my preference is always a VOD rather than the live thing, and I'd rather the VOD without the chat on it.
Okay. That's one of the reasons I don't put the chat on the screen.
That doesn't apply to your stuff. I like watching your stuff live because I know you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Just one of the reasons that I don't put the chat on the screen is people who are there live are taking part in the chat, and people who aren't. If I feel that it's relevant, I'll sort of announce it, read it out, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's.
That makes
I feel
sense.
I feel like it's two different audiences, you know.
Yeah, and also with Owncast, because it's easy just to sign in. You can sort of entice troublemakers in with if you've got a chat that automatically has your stream of messages. Fundamentally no moderation.
Yeah,
someone can spam the chat with some awful stuff.
Owncast is like the best experience though. If you're watching a stream, between Twitch, YouTube, and Owncast is like completely frictionless. You just click play, you're in the chat immediately. You don't have to sign in, you don't have to log into anything. You're just there. Works beautifully.
Yeah, they're not selling you anything, so they're not gathering in information from you. So there's no hoops to jump through.
It's so nice to use. It's like this is what the world would be like if we didn't have capitalism. Like every service would be this nice.
Yeah. So I mean, I'd like to do some sort of like live show in some way, like whether or not it's a quiz, whether or not it's tier lists, but we invite the opinions of other people or something where the interaction is part of the.
Make it actually meaningful rather than just a chat stream that we pay half a
month. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing about Twitch is like these Twitch people that have got like 1,000 people chatting at once and stuff. It's like, so what's the point?
I mean, when you go
they will only respond to certain people. Like the chosen few will be the ones that get the interaction.
But wait, when you go to them, like the chat is moving like this up the screen, like it's like I literally can't read it. Like I physically cannot read it.
I think it's the vibe I get from it is that it's like a crowd, like that you don't necessarily read messages thoughtfully, but you sort of get a vibe of, is the chat angry, is the chat happy, is the chat laughing?
I think there's a middle ground where you're not necessarily interacting with the person you're watching, but you are interacting with the other people who are watching.
Yes.
And I think that's a valid thing. That's like
part of the crowd.
Mystery Science, was it theatre or something like that?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't know.
I think it's like watch parties on TV. I don't know very well, but like. Yeah, there's like a kind of a watch party thing. Like I remember one of my favourite Twitch like mainstream things was when they started streaming Bob Ross on Twitch.
Yeah,
and I think it was organised by Twitch or like certainly endorsed by Twitch. And obviously the late Bob Ross is not going to be responding to chat comments, but watching a younger generation of people sort of discover him was kind of nice.
For sure. In a similar vein, me and some friends used to habitually watch. There was a Twitch channel that streamed game shows from the 70s, American game shows, so like Price is Right and a bunch of other like Family Feud as they call it over there. It was just 24-hour 1970s. We'd sit there for hours watching, talking to each other, guessing answers, and again that was a genuine social experience and like stuff like that I love.
I think Owncast could be really good for that, because the trouble is with Twitch is you can't flick from channel to channel to channel because you've got to watch 6 minutes of adverts every time you change channel. So who's going to like it takes to me a core part of the experience out of just being like, oh, okay, there's like 4 people I know that are streaming today. I'll flick between each of them just to see what's going on.
Just from a pragmatic point of view, if you want to do something like stream 70s or 80s game shows, which you do not have the copyright for, like if you get caught on Owncast, okay, take that domain down, spin another one up. Who gives a shit? Whereas on Twitch, you're all going to get banned from Twitch, right?
Yeah, but also they're not going to they're not even going to bother coming after you for the small number of viewers that you'll have.
Well, exactly. Yeah. It's just people sharing things and watching things. It's like when we group watch things on Discord. Somebody's streaming it to everybody else. We're technically pirating it, but it's recreating that experience of students in a house watching a film together.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Or families, or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, if I do a video on PeerTube about the Fedi, that will often get like upward, towards 1,000 views. But I don't want to make all the videos about the Fedi.
No.
Like it's
a bit sort of incestuous or self.
I do.
Or whatever,
for me currently, and this is just like the sort of the developmental stage that it's at the moment. But for me currently, PeerTube does have a very kind of narrow kind of content. There's a lot of how-to stuff, a lot of techie stuff, a lot of meta stuff.
That's the kind of thing I watch, and that's why I find YouTube quite useful.
No, it is. No, it is great if you want that stuff, but it lacks the more like I watch a lot of stuff like media critique. That's too pretentious sounding.
Random video essays.
I shy away from video essays now. They're twattish. It's more like just friends talking about things rather than the video essay stuff. But yeah, I mean, a lot of very eclectic stuff. Like, I don't have particular things that I watch. I'm just like, today I'm going to watch 8 hours of local news bloopers, which is one of my go-tos, and like people watching the TV show and talking about. And I think PeerTube needs to get a bit broader in terms of its content. Yeah. It's a natural thing.
Again, I think you'll find that a lot of the things you're talking about do exist, but it is. I won't argue that for a second that discoverability, that word they all use, is a thing.
And it does just have, it has less. And, if I'm going to
less content in total. Yeah. But then again, there's a lot of cruft anywhere. But what you're saying, but I know what you're saying. The bigger the cesspit is, the more chance you have of finding the shiny turd.
Exactly.
That's
which I do think. I think it will get. And it's a vicious circle. If all the people who watch us on YouTube went over to PeerTube and there was a demand for that kind of stuff more and blah blah blah. It's a thing that will naturally. Yeah.
And also, from a bit of a egotistical point of view, I kind of like the feeling that I'm like pioneering, a part of a pioneering.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. There is a bit of that. Yeah.
It feels like YouTube at this point is a well trodden path. It's the M4, right? Whereas the Fedi is still. There's
some local giveaway there.
It's the but the Fedi is it's out in the villages. It's
the country roads.
It's the country roads. It's
the old windy road that they made a bypass for.
Yeah, and I kind of like that, and I like the idea that we're somewhere. With different ideas as well. Like YouTube knows what it is. YouTube's been known what it was for 20 years or whatever now. But has it been around for 20 years? Probably about 20 years. Isn't it?
I think so, probably. Yeah, feels like it.
Yeah, and the Fedi's still new. It's 2016. Was it? Well, it depends what you count as the Fedi, right? Like the Fedi can technically go back as
Activity Pub is the sort of crux of it all, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that was after 2016, wasn't it? That was more like 2017, 2018.
PeerTube is very new, isn't it? Really, it's a few years old.
Yeah.
And Owncast is about 5 years old.
If you want to, you could say the Fediverse has existed for, since the start of the internet, because email is a federated, decentralized service. That's why I chose Activity Pub as a specific.
BBSs were federated.
That's how BBS. My BBS would be.
But I think
BBS, it was like people would dial into mine, and occasionally those would be other BBS operators would dial in and do a bulk thing, and and that's how we got all the information around.
But part of the power is the Fedi is it's not, and I think we should think of it more like this. It's not a new thing; it's a return to how it was before capitalism came and took a big shit on it.
Yeah, basically, that's what I'm saying, because email worked like that to start with. And I suppose you could say that, although it's much vaunted, IRC was kind of a step in the wrong direction because of that.
Because it's
large. It's not. It is still decentralized IRC, but you can't communicate across servers.
It's decentralized in principle, not really.
Well, you can
in practice.
You can, but in practice,
it's just not federated. And but if we look at Matrix, which is. Which is kind of a bit clunky. A bit clunky.
Very problematic and clunky.
And
unfortunately,
someone was talking about how they can't, if they've got a single a single user instance, and they log into the Matrix support channel, they have to download thousands of messages and lots of information just to participate in the support channel in what is fundamentally a necessity. And I don't know if Federation is worth that. Maybe IRC have it right, or it's just sign up for a different account on different servers. It's not as super smooth.
Not everything needs to be federated for sure. Yeah.
Decentralization and federation are they're both good things in a way, but they're both not necessary for certain things. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
right.
I'm going to make a cup
before we get into the main thrust of this, I'm going to just now deal with more peanut stuff for a second. Sorry.
I was going to go off and make a cup of tea. So can Chris talk to the audience for 2 minutes?
There you go, Chris.
Yeah,
you can wax lyrical for
you go
for 2 minutes or whatever.
Right. What have I got here now?
I'll be right back.
We've got my list of topics. So there's bots in space is going down.
Did we talk about that last time?
No, we didn't.
We didn't. Okay.
We've talked about it offline, but we so I'm just adjusting some volumes here a little bit. Is 169, 179. Okay, there we go. Just adjusting some volumes. Okay. So you when we spoke about this offline, you seem to think that bots in space's time has come and gone, right? Like,
it's I respect what it is. It's an instance where bots can live. It's hosting for bots essentially, and that's a cool thing for people who want to make bots. But I personally have never met a bot that I like, and it pisses me off when people boost them. Then it's not fucking. It's like here's a garden made out of emojis. And I'm not shitting on the person who made that. It's a cute little thing to make, but it's a seen it once, don't need to see it ever again kind of thing at best.
Yeah.
And that's 99.99% of bots. This sounds horrible, but I'm glad it's going. I hope bots disappear from Reddit. I don't want bots. I don't want to ever see a bot, and it pisses me off when people boost them.
When they made their closure announcement, I don't know if I can find it. Bots in space closing. I'm
making the tea now, but it'll be 2 seconds.
RIP bots in space, Muffin Labs. So basically, the reason there was some interesting information to do with bots in space. I think I can switch it over. I've got the website up here. And it was like, bots in space has always been a bit of an odd duck with a unique set of challenges. Over the years, the server has grown to around a few thousand active accounts, which isn't all that many. Well, I think that's a fair number, but however, they've generated something like 32 million statuses. Just to put that in perspective, Mastodon Social has over 2 million users who has generated 110 million statuses.
Yeah.
So that's, yes. So the usage patterns are very different, and I think it's safe to say that the Mastodon code base is tuned for Mastodon.social and not a weird, freaky server like bots in space. That, to me, sort of spelled it out. Like, it's, for a hobby project, that's a lot of resources.
Yeah, although reading through the whole thing, it did seem more like it was less about the amount of work and the cost and more about, like, it was something they could... I mean, this is often the case with open source free software adjacent stuff. Like, you do it for fun, and then it stops being fun. Yes. It becomes a job. Yeah. And when it becomes a job, I think he's making the right decision, rather than just, feeling a sense of responsibility and having to keep doing it. Yeah, pack it in, don't worry about it.
Absolutely. There are a few bots I like. Most of them are color scheme bots, and they just give me ideas for, like, color schemes that work together. Honestly, I can live without that. Like, that's not, and I think that they might even have moved... and some, like, randomly generated patterns that I can use for things like random avatars or, like noise.
But that very much sounds like the kind of thing where you need it at a specific time, and you could just easily go to a website and get it. Like, it doesn't seem useful, that being a bot.
Generally, no. A few times I've reworked my website on the prompt of an interesting thing, but again, this is not worth someone else's time and effort, if I'm completely honest. Like, it's just like, there were a few bots. I liked the random Wikipedia pages that you could sing to the tune of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
See, I know. Again, once that's funny, the second time I'm like, ugh.
Yes, exactly. I don't follow it anymore.
The one where it's always 420 somewhere, and people boost that, and it's like, oh, fucking Jesus.
Oh, actually, that one I haven't followed it, and that one sounds kind of fun for a minute.
Yeah, I haven't followed any of them. Seen plenty of them.
Yeah, I don't have the kind of sense of humour that is required for things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it gets bored quickly. It gets boring quickly. Like, it's not like I'm not going.
Well, see, can I just interject very slightly there? Just one thing I'll say is that the thing about something like that one-trick joke, like the 420 anywhere thing, is it immediately puts into my head that that's inaccurate. It's a pedantic brain. It's like that 420 thing is a meme, but it's not based on anything accurate, and that annoys me.
Yeah.
I will say, actually, I think for me it's more fundamental than I described. The reason I like Freddy, the reason I enjoy Freddy, the reason it's a pleasant experience for me to go there, one of the reasons I prefer Freddy to something like Twitter or something, is because it's about actual fucking human interaction.
That is very true.
Yeah, interacting with actual fucking humans, having actual conversations with other actual fucking human beings, and sticking bots into the mix is the opposite of what I want it for. It pollutes that.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just bollocksing around with my light because I'm never happy with my lighting. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Well, I've got the same low winter sun issue that I've had for the past week or so. With
is that low? Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not washed out. I'm washed out. I'm like, honest to God, I'm not as pale as I look on camera. And
that flaring actually looks cool. I like it.
That's kind of nice. That's just because I've got a white website up. If I got the desktop environment tier list, that's it.
Yeah,
moody.
You've got your lighting's got to be adapted. Yeah.
There we go. I've got.
There you go. You look perfectly fine now.
There we go.
You did.
I like that one. I like that. The last one you had, the one before this one.
This one?
No. Maybe it was just as it's transitioning and the camera was adjusting. Yeah, it's a pit. Yeah, that one. I like because that makes everything's blue apart from your face, which is very pink. And
I can open the curtains a little bit. It's just like the sun's very low in the sky this time of year, isn't it? Oh, fuck, it's done it. Like, sorry, everyone. This is highly professional YouTuber here, isn't it? Highly professional YouTuber. Right. This is all staying in, by the way.
Oh, yeah. So, are you planning to wean off YouTube? And go, YouTube?
The thing is, right, actually, well, there's
numbers, my numbers. I mean, it's not a lie that bigger numbers is obviously a better thing because you're not getting anywhere near the engagement or views or interaction or even any sort of community that you think you're getting from bigger numbers. But the bigger the number, the more chance you have of something sticking.
Yeah,
definitely. I think you've just basically hit the nail on the head. I do, because the thing is, I like on PeerTube. There's a lot on PeerTube that I like. First off, the expectations are different. I like being able to upload in 720 on PeerTube and knowing that's enough. On YouTube, I always feel like if I'm uploading to 720, people are going to think that that it's a rip, or that it's copied in from somewhere else, or that it's
they are obsessed. Again, it's a number thing actually. Weirdly enough, but people are obsessed with 4K now.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother with 4K.
As if watching three hairy middle-aged men in 4K is better than watching them in 720 or 1080 or whatever,
Yeah.
Down to 360 it is.
I mean, actually, it reminds me. I don't know if you know 30 Rock, the TV show.
I'm aware of it, but I watched one episode.
Right. Well, you don't need to know the show to get this reference. It's basically they have a switch to high def episode.
Oh right, yeah.
And there's a character with like low self-esteem who's like middle-aged man with low self-esteem, and you see him and it turns into like an 80-year-old man on the high def camera, and he's like and then there's the attractive, confident guy, and he looks like himself from 30 years ago. It was actually Alec Baldwin, so they get a picture. Baldwin's there, and they get a picture of they get a little clip of Alec Baldwin from like some film in the 80s, and he's like, ding!
Oh, wow.
And that's the sort of the high def joke,
Actually, that reminds me, there was a channel on television that actually switched to colour in real time.
Oh.
So obviously you needed the colour television to make it work.
Yeah.
But it was like this show's going from black and white to colour, and then they flipped a switch or something like that, and then it kind of all.
I'd like to make this is an idea I had years ago. I want to make like a full length movie, like 90 minutes, where it starts off black and white and ends up color, but just transitions over the space of 90. So you literally don't notice it.
I think some people have done similar things.
It's probably, I'm sure it's been done. Yeah,
and I mean, obviously, Wizard of Oz just changed.
But hang on, where was I going?
A lot of show in the 80s which had like 3D segments, which is kind of a similar thing.
Yeah,
like put on your 3D glasses now, and then a ball comes up the camera.
You remember Smell-O-Vision?
What vision? Sorry. Oh,
Smell-O-Vision.
Yeah. All the things that were on. What was the BBC TV show that would be like his new invention?
Oh,
Tomorrow's World.
Tomorrow's World. Yeah.
Where's the self-driving cars? They've been promising that for fucking forever.
The one that pissed me off.
Oh, and domestic robots.
Fucking CDs. When they had CDs on tomorrow, how much I hate optical media. They had CDs on Tomorrow's World, and they were like sandpapering them and like driving over them with trucks and stuff, and going, "Look, it still fucking works, does it?"
Yeah.
But you look at it wrong.
No, there is a key thing about that, is they were using master CDs for that. So when they were smearing them with butter and thingy, and then clearing them off, because they're made of glass instead of plastic.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, master CD isn't made of plastic. I know, George.
Oh God, could you imagine the chaos in the world if there were jetpack? If everyone had a personalised jetpack.
Okay, well, it's bad enough with people having like segways or whatever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or whatever the new ones are called. They call them hoverboards now, don't they? They're not allowed to call them something
they're dangerous. They are. Ooh.
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's my point.
This is trite to ask, but I like it anyway as a question. if we had teleportation as it's done in Star Trek, or at least how it seems like it's done in Star Trek, where essentially you step into that teleporter, it kills you, and then makes a copy of you somewhere else that has all your memories and thinks it's you. Would you use such a teleportation system?
More information is required, really. Like,
it's a bit. There's too many hand wavy things in Star Trek for me to believe.
Well, no, assuming it works as I've described, you just get atomized. that you no longer exist. That you died.
One question. Is it possible, through the mechanics of this machine, just to make an exact copy of yourself?
Yeah.
Well, according to Star Trek, yes.
Yeah, then no, I'm not going to just kill. So basically, you're asking, would I make?
No, but you get the evil version.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works in Star Trek, and they are okay with it.
The question I was going to ask is now Hamish might be able to know a little bit more about this, and I think it delves into the realms of, is it special relativity or something, where each subatomic particle is unique in a very specific way, like something to do with the amount of energy it is or something like that. And
that's why they can't transport you. That's why it has to work by. There's something in Star Trek. I think it's the Heisenberg uncertainty compensator or something.
Compensator. Heisenberg compensator.
And like people, there's this joke. This is the kind of the very nerdy humor. There's a joke where people have asked, how does it work? And the
very well, thank you.
Yeah,
that's actually about the oh god, it's what
inertial dampeners.
Inertial dampeners. That's
right,
it. Thank you. It's inertial dampeners
okay.
that they ask about. Yeah.
Oh my god.
But
it is killing you and making a copy of you. Like in that film with the magicians that I've not seen but heard described to me. Possible spoilers.
If you're doing it so that you're the exact subatomic particles are being exactly recreated in a way that then those old particles then have to change.
Yeah.
Then yes.
Are you really you though? But aren't you sort of that from moment to moment anyway?
The you that goes into the transporter, experiences death. And then a copy is made with an identical copy is made with all of your memories. So that copy believes it's you and believed it went through the transporter because it's got all the memories, but you would be dead.
I mean, yeah, I probably would say I'd rather not, unless there was a substantial advantage to it. Like maybe
there's no circumstance under which I would do that. It's literally you're killing yourself and making a copy of yourself.
Yeah, unless it does that subatomic special relativity thing that I don't quite understand, but it actually makes you, and
your consciousness transfers is essentially
sort
what
of,
you're.
yeah. I think that
it's almost like you're asking if there's a soul here.
Sort of, yeah. Ship of Theseus and all that.
Well, no. It's I think it's less philosophical than that, because the one that you that goes in is just dying. Like there's no question about that, at least in this interpretation of it.
In that case, then no, I don't want to die.
To the external world, to me, it would make no difference. You still exist with all of your memories. The you that I meet thinks it went through all of that, but from your point of view, you died.
I mean, I might think it might be allowed to copy myself, but I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
like Calvin and Hobbes is
I mean, mainly just for blowjobs.
Oh my god.
I mean, yeah.
No, I'm like a me to myself. Oh god, I'm starting to feel like Avasarella in the last.
Taking a dark turn. It's taking a dark turn.
Yes, take it. Yeah, but it's like I'm starting to think Avasarella. It's like and a whole bunch of other science words you put together. Is it?
I love that.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, don't do that.
Okay,
we've got to save that.
Talking.
Don't cross the streams.
Okay, cool. Should we do?
Yeah, I didn't answer the question because I'm not entirely. See, the thing is, I think the problem with that in reality would be that people would be more enamoured. Much like all the social media and everything, people would be more enamoured with the glossy, fun parts of stuff. So it'd be like, I can go from one place to the other instantly. Is what they'd be thinking about, not the rest of it. It's like when people get in a car, they don't think that, most people, I assume, I mean, I do, but most people, I assume, don't immediately think about the massive amount of danger and irresponsibility that people have, they're just thinking, I've got an easy way of getting from one place to another.
Yeah.
And I think that's what would happen with teleport.
Yeah.
Also, the problem with teleportation or matter reclamation or... What's the one where they make things after they've been put in the matter reclamator in TNG?
The replicators.
Replicators. With all that stuff, that it's all very well if it's being used the way they intended, but another humans will not.
Is the Tuvix situation? You don't want to
getting people.
You don't want me and Chris merged into one being that's half Chris and half me.
I don't know.
I'm thinking, what name would we give it? Crew.
I like Crew. That's pretty cool.
That's a bit like Legion.
Those both work for Star Trek.
Very, very briefly for Chris. So in Star Trek Voyager, there's two characters, Neelix and Tuvok, and a transporter accident happens, and they get merged together into this new being called Tuvix, which is half one of them and half the other, but it is a distinct being. And they decide that they have to take it to the transporter and separate it again. And on the way to the transporter to separate, it's literally begging for its life. It's saying, "You are killing me." It's literally begging not to be killed. It's a horrible episode for many reasons.
No.
Yeah.
Would you? Yeah, I don't know. That would be,
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, anyway, but you know what's going to happen? Matter reclamators. There's going to be somebody who knows how to override the safeties, and that'll be a way of disposing of your rivals, and the mafioso will be just chucking people in it, and if you like the pigs in Deadwood,
If you have a machine that can bring people back from the dead, regardless of how long
transporters can do that.
Yeah, then do. Okay, so let's say.
There's the episode where Scotty gets brought back.
Yeah.
In TNG.
So if you have
for 70 years or whatever, if
you have a machine that can bring people back from the dead, let's say we invented it today, right?
Uh-huh.
We just had an idea and go, what if we did this and this? And, oh my god! What would we then have a sort of an ethical responsibility to bring back basically everyone from the dead?
Well, no, because the point of it is you have a pattern, so you could it's like a save point. You see, if you've got an illness, right, and you go through the transporter, you've still got the illness. So if you're dying of something, you're still going to be dying of something at the other end.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to cross over certain things here, but I just want to stick to the one point on this. Yeah.
Just the basic ethical question: if we have the ability to bring everybody who died back to life, are we ethically obliged to do so? That's tricky as shit. That is.
Yeah, because there's
actually. Do you know what? Do you know what? There is a Star Trek episode that deals with that.
Yeah, there is a Star Trek episode. Yeah.
It's TNG, and they find some frozen people from the 1990s, and it's and Picard is very much against resuscitating them.
Oh,
well, for the same reason, because it's happened before in the original series.
They're already dead.
Khan is the
which turned out
space suit. Yeah.
Because I think all three of us will agree that if there is someone who is in need of medical attention, we would have a social obligation to at least help them in whatever way we can.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah.
I think if you're like walking down the street and there's you and someone else and no one else, and they have a heart, you see them clenching their chest with a heart attack and die. Like, if you just carry on walking and pretend like you didn't see it, you're a bad person, right? That's a bad thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So even though you're not doing anything, your lack of doing something is so.
Oh yeah, but inaction is just as bad. Well, that's the laws of robotics thing. It's action or inaction is the simple thing. I mean, I think that just on that point, that's quite the Asimov's rules of robotics, or whatever they're called, laws of robotics, is kind of like the base of morality, really.
Yeah,
I mean, it's what humans should be doing as well.
It's getting towards golden rule, which has been a thing in philosophy for thousands of years. Do unto others what you would have do unto you. Have them do unto you. As the Bible.
However,
that's their wording of it is it's existed long before that Bible.
But also, there's a sort of, I suppose a consent issue of sorts, because when most people who have lived in the past, have expected to die, like they understand how the game is played, as it were, right? They're born, they do some stuff, and then they die. That's like kind of.
I get what you said, but at that point, if we can bring them back, then essentially death is an illness that we found a cure for, and they are sick people. They're essentially just sick people at that point.
Well, people die of things; they don't just die.
Yeah, we sort of hand waving.
There's always a root cause eventually.
Hand waving all that away and just saying, if we could bring people, and I do, I think we have, on the basis that you said, we have a moral responsibility to bring them back, but we shouldn't, because it'd be immensely impractical and destroy us.
Well, then,
and also deterioration over time. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you've got an illness and you go into transport, and you've still got the illness at the other end.
See, if you've invented a transport, you've probably cured all illnesses, though.
Star Trek.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting to
illnesses, basically.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like, okay, so if we look at death as an illness that we've cured, right? And as you say, it would be woefully impractical, but let's say we found a way to make it work for now, but it's obviously not sustainable where people keep getting born at a substantial rate, but no one is dying.
Then we'd have to
not unless we start colonizing the stars and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it all goes together, doesn't it? We can, but like,
or we could just go. We should just go like we could stagger it, I guess, because there's no moral impetus to bring them back immediately. Yeah,
you've got them stored as data.
Yeah, essentially.
But then, if you look at how well, again, it's like the practicalities of it all immediately come into my head. Like, you look at how well,
because
look at a disc from 20 years ago, how well that's held up.
But also ethically, right? You then basically what I'm thinking is two inalienable rights are clashing with each other, right? The right to life and the right to reproductive,
I think so. To make it simpler, say we just found a way to stop anybody dying.
Mm-hmm.
We could just genetically turn off aging or whatever. I think it would be reasonable to say, if you go for that, you can't reproduce. I think the right to life is more important. It's morally superior to the right to reproduce.
Yes, I think I agree.
Yeah,
but I don't know if they're absolute inalienable. As in, they're either inalienable or they're not.
The purpose of reproduction is to continue life. It's simple as that.
And we found a better way.
I mean, maybe you're adding more into it, but I mean, I'm not just or anything.
I mean, it's kind of a bit of an ethical concern. Like, then we have made the decision for humanity to end evolution.
And also, there's also like a eugenics angle, right? Like, which is the one I want. Like, we don't want you.
It's the misuse of things that will be the problem.
Yeah.
But honestly, Drew, I think you've just like nailed it. With if you want to live forever, you have to submit your right to reproduce.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'd be up for that.
You obviously,
but you'd have to do that at an early age.
I mean, they essentially, I think it's not an amazingly good book, but Ringworld exists in that kind of universe where they've cured aging basically, and they are just expanding into the universe, which is what we'd have to do.
Nice. There's too many other things connected to just make it a black and white decision, I think.
And also like who makes those decisions, right? Like, what if there are look at how we're governed at the moment. Do you want those people making those decisions for you? Well, do you want Trump and his government, or Starmer and her government making your choices for you?
It'd be means tested. What's their?
Are they rich enough to afford to be living forever? You know.
Yeah.
How much are they going to donate to us?
That's it, really, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that's why the NHS is kind of so important, is that it levels a playing field that is. Important.
That's why universal programs are important. Not means tested, just universal programs are important.
Yeah, and that's why they don't want them.
Thinking about your crazy idea, it does kind of fuck with inheritance though. Because if you bring back somebody from like 500 years ago who generation, it'd be like, give me my money back.
Are you going to be able to do that though? Are you going to be able to bring somebody back? I was under the impression that we're only able to do it from the invention of this machine.
No, everybody who's ever died can be brought back.
Ugg the caveman.
Yeah.
Well, then you're starting to get to the extinct species as well. Then
Well, what counts as what
counts as human?
Yeah. I mean, I would like.
There's so many things to this.
I would like to taste a dodo.
I mean,
there's some species of giant turtle or giant tortoise that are dead as well because of that, isn't there?
Well, there's a lot of species in Britain in particular, but in Europe more broadly, that are dead because Catholics are only supposed to eat fish on Fridays, not meat. You're supposed to fast from meat on Fridays and only eat fish. So the Catholic Church decreed that, like, if it lives in water, it's fish. So beaver were fish, turtles were fish, and that's why we don't have any beavers or turtles left, because the monks ate them all, basically.
Oh, damn monks.
I've simplified that, obviously.
But... should we crack on with the?
Yes.
All right, cool. I'm just gonna pause the video for 2 secs, just to take a space piss and get
I'll do the same then. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay. Well.
Okay, we're back. So this is the highly produced. Look at that. That means nothing to you folks because you can't see what I'm doing. But like,
I imagined it, and I can see it.
So, do we all know how tier lists work? Hamish, are you familiar with this format?
I'm familiar with tier lists, yeah, but I mean, I've seen particularly you chaps doing tier lists.
Fantastic. We're going to have to work out what some of these logos are.
Do they not?
Yeah, there's a couple there that are interesting.
Did we not work out at the end of the last one that if you mouse over them or click on them or something, it tells you what they are?
I think so. Like, that's
I remember,
JWM. I think.
Oh, that's one of the very early. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, one. I remember watching one of the other episodes and going, "That's that!" It's not arguing, but shouting at the screen, as it were.
Yeah.
Old man yells at cloud.
Shall we start? I want to put. Okay, should we start off with the ones we know, as in?
Oh, this is a controversial one, though.
XFCE. That should be the best ever. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm going to defer to you because you use it, but I'm just going to very quickly. Because we've talked about XFCE before, everybody knows what I think about it. But very quickly, it's the Windows 98 taskbar, start menu, test system tray paradigm that I fucking hate. And it's very dull. It's very bland. But I think that's part of its value, right? It's a blank canvas kind of thing.
Yeah. Is it the sort of GNOME 2 thing? Is it?
Yeah.
Well, that would be Mate, but it sort of.
Well, I suppose it depends where you put the bar.
Yeah. Well, actually, my XFCE layout at the moment looks like Fluxbox.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Foxbox doesn't look like anything though. The box things have a very simplified interface.
Yeah, but Fluxbox has the little box at the bottom,
the slit they call it.
The slit, which is always a weird name for it.
Yeah, and it's
the
so
flaps.
I've got it. The
XFCE thing for me, I don't object to it, but the reason I would choose this, it is in there. I think the other one I would choose over it somewhere. But the reason I would choose the other one over it is my dislike of GTK versus say QT.
Okay, I mean that is. That's all fine and valid. I like.
Except you're wrong.
I mean, I kind of like GTK because it doesn't have a company behind it the same way that QT does, which is both a pro and a con, right? QT is it owned by like not QT, but like the whole license kind of thing? Is it owned by Nokia?
It was. I don't know if it is now.
Not for years and years.
Because Microsoft bought Nokia.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Hang on. I mean, who currently owns QT? Is that what you're asking?
Basically, yeah. But yeah, I mean, XFCE. It's the one I always come back to. It's the one I always use because it's simple enough that you can do exactly what you want. But it's also it's customizable. It doesn't use too much in the way of system resources, but it also has the features like keyboard layouts. And you can run. It's very easy to run startup scripts on logout, scripts on shutdown. It's
you kind of saying it's got the niceties of a DE, but in the very it's on the minimal end of the actual full DEs, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So I see what you're saying. Right? Do you want the QT story? Trolltech, the originators from 1991 to 2008. Nokia owned it from 2008 to 2011. 2011, and then the QT project 2011 to present. However, there's obviously complication here because from 2012 to 2014, somebody called Digia.
Oh, I remember Digia buying it.
Yeah, and then the QT company, not the QT project, but the QT company is 2014 to present. So it must be a bit like is it Mozilla that I've got two different sort of organizations. It's a weird thing. I think it's like that. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Nokia.
And of course,
been involved for over 10 years. Yeah.
It's supposed to be pronounced cute, which is absurd.
Indeed, cute. Yes.
Cute, but QT sounds nicer.
It does. It's a cutie pie.
Yeah.
I think we're deferring to Chris on this one, right?
Okay, I'll tell you what. Should we all allow?
Okay, I will avoid having too much opinion on it.
I think the one we personally use, we get the final say.
Okay, yeah, we get each of us gets one mark, right? Like one. And I'm using mine first one there.
I mean, for the record, for me, it's between decent and bad. It's fine. It's one I would never use.
Yeah, I have used it.
For me,
I have used it. Yeah.
I mean, I've used it briefly, but for me, for whatever I wanted it for, there's something that does that better.
But does it do it with less resources? Like XFC is so light. When I click something, boom, it comes up. It's very good. It's very easy to set the keyboard bindings.
I think that Drew's disagreeing with something there.
And I mean, I've even set up some window manager style configs so I can move things around to different screens. No, whatever DE, when people describe DEs as light, I mean, yes, it's light in DE terms, but you know, a window manager it's very fraction. Good for if you don't like, for example, the file manager, you can switch it out with something else. And that's a lot easier to do than it is, for example, with GNOME. So I don't know, like theming is fine.
GNOME's very we say so.
You have sort of opened my eyes to the value of XFCE, and I think its plainness is part of its point. You imprint something upon it, you take it and do something with it. And you also know that in an update, it's not going to change basically at all. You know,
XFCE is kind of a non-branded. You know, the unbranded, the shop's own desktop.
Yes, that's it.
And you can, if you want to have as you say, if you want to go and buy, you know, Tesco's finest file manager instead of, you know, XFCE's shop's own.
It is its own brand.
The options there.
Its own brand GNOME.
It's the roller cola to GNOME's Coca-Cola.
Yeah, it kind of is.
That's made me respect it a little bit more.
It's I mean, I like the fact that you can turn compositing off, and you get that really super smart.
So you can turn what off?
Compositing. Compositing. Sorry.
Oh, no, I'm just making fun of your strange pronunciation there. That's all.
Yeah, it's one of those things
computers.
Where I read before I learned how to say, and it's
like it inventory with me. I can't not. I read it years before I ever heard anybody say it out loud, and it's inventory instead of inventory.
Inventory. It's not inventory. It's inventory.
It's inventory. No, it's inventory.
I think I get what you mean, but I think that one's not a great example because it is kind of pronounced both ways.
I've never heard anybody say it how
inventory.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I'm trying
to remember how I would. So yeah,
I think people pick it up from me as part of the thing.
Nah, I've always, but maybe
no adventure games. It was adventure games. It was always The Hobbit from the first time I ever saw that.
Exactly.
Like King's Quest or something. Like I think I probably learnt it from the same origin as you did from video games. So
yeah,
maybe we're just all in the same boat on that one. But I always felt that inventory was American, and I don't know if that's true at all or not.
It has that cadence to it, but I think it is how we are supposed to say it.
I can't think how I say it.
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah,
in my head.
Hamish, what desktop are you on these days? Is it? Let me guess. Is it?
We know.
Oh shit!
Do you not know?
I thought it was KDE, but you've changed since then, haven't you?
No.
Well, I don't really use a desktop.
Sorry, I mean Window Manager. Is it i3?
No,
Awesome.
Awesome. Is Awesome here in the room with us?
It's the A.
It is in the room with you, yes.
It's the A.
It's
the
middle of the top row, roughly.
A.
Oh, that one there.
That
okay.
one,
That's the one.
Now, it's worth saying, though, I don't use it to its full extent because I'm too lazy to finish setting things up.
Oh, I'm like
that. And if I do... Yeah, if I do... I kind of then sometimes fall back and trying to set up a different desktop environment with the things that I like about Awesome. Because it was funny you should mention, because recently I did try Plasma again.
You tried what?
It's always installed, in fact, Plasma.
Right. Yeah.
And the thing is that and I don't know if we're good. I don't want to talk about different desks too much because I don't want to muddy the waters when you try to talk about one specific one. But the problem is, I went in and I set it up tried to set it up a bit more like I like it, and I thought about using Awesome as the window manager, but that's a wee bit more fiddly. So I just went along the lines of, because Mandarin, for example, said to me, "Oh, like if you use this script, you get a sort of tiling style window manager," and it actually is not too bad. Even KDE stroke Plasma's built-in semi-tiling thing is not terrible. I find. But the problem, the thing that switched me off from it and made me go, "Oh crap! No, I've got to go back to this because I've got to do practical things." Now, it was okay for a day or two messing around, but once I had to do streaming and video stuff again, I had to go, "Oh no, I need this," and it was per screen, not per monitor. Desktop.
That's what always gets me. Yeah.
It's the thing that immediately puts me off almost every desktop environment.
So hang on. So each screen is a different desktop.
No, each screen has a set of workspaces that are completely separate.
They're completely separate.
If I change the workspace on my main monitor, the other one is completely unaffected. So I can have. Say, for example, I have an OBS and a little window with the chat open on one screen. So I'll have the chat open for my streaming, and then I can do whatever I'm doing streaming on the other monitor.
Yeah.
That also applies to OBS being able to pick things up as well. Which is almost more important. So if you change I can leave something on a monitor. And it can be like, for example, what you're doing with the you've got the chat window, the video window for each of us.
Yeah.
Presumably as an OBS thing that you've cropped in, yeah.
Yep.
If you were to change that? So that, I mean, is that something that's also visible to you somewhere?
As in, I can see the OBS thing. Yeah.
No. Is
the window that you're capturing? Does it have to be visible for you to capture it on OBS?
It has to be unminimized, but it doesn't.
Yes, yeah. So so it has to be. Yeah. So can it be behind something else though?
It can be behind something else. Yeah.
Can be, yeah. That's yeah. The point is, you can't. Yeah. No. Okay, you could say that's kind of a bad thing about tiling, is that you're moving something, but you're not. That's the point. You can keep it going on another workspace without having to worry about it.
Okay.
It's not a different thing. It's just a different approach to the same thing. I suppose.
Yeah.
But awesome. Ultimately, is a fork of DWM. A fork a long time ago. It's DWM with lots of stuff added to it by default. When I use Awesome, honestly, I find it overwhelming and confusing. It does far too much for me. But it is good.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if I wasn't so lazy, I would start with something completely blank. I mean, I did use things like Blackbox and stuff for a while, where everything was built from the ground up. But it's the convenience of certain things that gets you in it. I mean, I use Awesome, but I've also got on my PIM workspace on one monitor. I've got Contact, the KDE PIM program. So there's and getting. I mean, this is something that if you're not using the desktop environment, getting all your applications to look at least close to each other cosmetically is a pain in the bum,
Yeah.
And it's especially jarring if you've got some stuff that's in the dark mode and some stuff that's in the light mode, or vice versa. Or some font sizes are perfect and others go all over. There's work to do either way, I think. But yeah, if KDE, if I can switch, if I can run Plasma stroke KDE with or a different desktop environment, it doesn't have to be that specifically, but one that respects all the Qt and GTK stuff and what have you, and has the window management that I want, then that's the ideal. But in reality, the makers of all different window managers have got their own idea about how things work, and even between like i3 and Awesome and DWM and all that, there are going to be little differences. There's always work to do. Nothing's ever perfect, and that is probably why people just put up with, say, Windows or Mac. It's just because they don't, they don't have the choice without doing something technical with it. And I think it's interesting that we have a sort of middle ground on Linux, BSD, whatever. That we have all this choice.
I mean, I see. The thing is, you're saying, as an awesome user, as an awesome user, one might say, that you're still caveating it, whereas XFCE to me is perfect.
I don't think there is a perfect one. No.
I mean, it's perfect for me.
Where would you put awesome?
I'd put it in great. It's
really?
If you just switch it on without using anything else, without doing any other config, if you use like a basic, out of the box version from a distro.
So, but then how would you feel about XFCE being above it in this list?
Yeah, because XFCE needs at least some
disagree.
configuration.
I think the one, unless you're unhappy with it, I think the one that you use has to be on the top tier. I'm not telling you where to put it, but
it's the best ever tag I always think that things can be.
Yeah, maybe ignore that and go to the. I mean, it's Japanese.
All right, should we do that then?
No. I think we should just think SA. It's excellent, is what that top tier is. It's not. It's not the best ever.
Okay.
Because if it's the best ever, then we can't have multiple the best ever.
Yeah, you can only have one the best ever.
Yeah, it's hyperbolic.
Okay, I'll go with that. I'll go with that. Okay. It does almost everything I want.
Okay, my turn.
Yep.
Go for it.
It's the black W in the top middle.
This one here.
Yes, that's cropped. Obviously, it's the DWM.
DWM.
So the downsides with DWM are you have to patch it to get basic functionality, and in order to change the configuration, you have to recompile it. Mm-hmm. That's the downside. The upside is what Hamish was saying. It's that blank canvas. It does the basics, it does exactly how I want, and there's a few things that I can add to it to make it literally perfect for me. It is literally unbeatably perfect for me after I've done those patches. I just get tiling. It's automatic tiling. It's master stack, which is what I want. So you have the main window on the left, and then a stack of windows on the right, and I can cycle through them and so on. And it's got workspaces up per monitor. And that is all I want. That's exactly what I want, and that's all I want. My version of DWM is perfect for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think.
I suppose on that respect, I could say in an ideal world, awesome is perfect. Yeah. If I'd bothered to set up a few more things, it is perfect.
Yeah. I mean, XF City just comes out of the box as a complete mess. It could be anything depending on your distribution, right?
Yeah, distribution. Because I did try. I can't remember what distro it was for a while. It was one of the Arch-based ones.
Oh, Manjaro was it?
And it might have been Manjaro, and they had a version of. I can't remember if it was Awesome or i3 or something. It was one of those where they had a community-made one. The thing is, the problem with those community-made ones is not officially supported on is they disappear. Yeah. But they had a really beautifully themed and sensible presets and everything version for a while. Yeah. But after a few months, it was just it was dropped because nobody was there anymore doing it.
Yeah,
I will say. Go on, Chris.
I tried that i3 out of the box. It was delightful. Like, there's a lot of negatives you can say about Manjaro these days because they're starting to bake in things like telemetry and like a lot of non-free software that doesn't really need to be there. They are complete. I feel like they're completely like
Manjaro is a fuck up distro and always has been. They were good at theming. That's all they were good at. We went over that in the distro
one. Cool. All right. I mean, I don't think I've ever tried DWM, so
I would say the other downside of DWM possibly made by possible fascists.
Right. I mean, Holocaust aside,
I like DWM.
All right. Do you want to do? Should we just throw out a mainstream one of Gnome? Should we all clear the air on Gnome?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
All right, I'll go first because I think I'm going to be the most positive. About it. I think Linux needs a Mac-like, very simple, can't go wrong, can be documented. You can tell, it's restrictive. You can't, you can't fiddle with it. You can't tinker with it. It does what it does in a specific way. But I think that way, for the most part, is quite well designed. I think for what it is, it does it quite well. Now it's corporate leaning, corporate adjacent. It's kind of under the control of Red Hat. I don't like that, but I think we do need a Linux desktop like that. But I don't want it to take over, and they want to take over. I think.
Fair points you made there. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it for the reasons that you can't do anything you want with it.
Yeah,
but I can see why giving a non-technical user something like that works as well. Same reason it works on an Apple.
It's nice. It's nice to have a standard.
Took it to an extreme, Yeah. As you say, it's like so you can write a documentation and people know where to click.
Yeah,
and stuff. Yeah, we obviously are all quite technical users, and we forget things over time that people wouldn't, we know things over time that people wouldn't consider.
I mean, I wouldn't give my mum DWM, partly because she's dead, but partly because it would be very confusing to her.
I mean,
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
I feel that GNOME is. I
like the partly part of that.
Is that it? To me, it feels more like a mobile distro on desktop than it does maybe something.
Yeah, like I do dislike that.
Not in a bad. I don't think that in a bad way because the thing is, it's like in the same way that like
bad way. It's mobile.
Well, it's like a lot of people understand the mobile paradigm, maybe even more so than the Windows.
Oh, I think that's fine. I think leaning on mobile paradigms because a lot of people do understand them. I think that's fine. I think if they're designing it for mobile. No. That's stupid.
Yeah, no, they're not. I don't think I don't get the sense that they're doing that with.
I think they were. I think they were to start with, but I think they've backed away from that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My biggest criticism is that it could be lighter.
It It's not as heavy. Like KDE and GNOME are not as heavy as people think. Not as much heavier as the more lightweight ones than people think. I think.
Okay, I mean, if I'm going to take your word for that,
if you want a lot of defaults and auto magical things happening, the weight is there no matter what you do.
And
for me, you want it to be super. You might want to call it user friendly. I don't think that's entirely accurate these days, but. The fact that somebody sticks a USB stick in and it does what it does what they expect. It pops up a window with that thing, whatever. That kind of thing,
The problem with the idea of user friendly is for what user? For me, the terminal is incredibly user friendly, but it's not user friendly for a novice or whatever. I think
all
user friendly.
Yeah, I was looking up how to do something on FFmpeg on the command line the other day, and it was basically like. I was on Stack Exchange, and they said, look, basically, because you're working with two different video files with two different frame rates, you're going to want just use Kden Live. It's like because like in theory you can do it, but like
it's going to be a pain in the ass.
It's monumentally, because they demonstrated how you do it with two basically identical videos, stitching them together.
Yeah,
and that's quite straightforward. But like anything that deviates from the standard on FFmpeg, you have to then specify everything, which often involves you've got to create you don't have to, but the recommended way is to create a text file full of the put the instructions in the text file, and then use FFmpeg to execute the text file. So, I
mean, you can do it. You can read the man page, but it will take you hours as opposed to a couple of clicks in Kden.
Although that being said, when I record a video in 1080 and then I want to scale it down for video.thepolarbear.co.uk and also make it thing, I've just got.
You don't have to. It'll do it for you.
Oh, does it? I thought it contributed to my little bar at the top. The little bar at the top that tells you your upload limit and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, sorry, I get a slightly different interface as the admin, and I forget things. But yeah, when I'm on that page, I could probably take note of it. Yeah.
But I run it through an FFmpeg command with some predefined settings, and it makes it roughly the same. Like 720.
Yeah, see that is easier than firing up Kden Live and picking out
but the point is
a default setup that you've made and then running it through that.
It's right tool for right job, isn't it, basically?
Yeah.
But in terms of
that's
ranking,
why desktops in general aren't the right tool.
Yeah. In terms of ranking, I would say it's somewhere between great and decent. But if it has to go in one, it would go in great.
I was thinking the same similar thing, but I would put it in decent.
Yeah, I was going to say because I think what it does, what it's going for, it nails. It does it very well. But I assume I'm going to be overruled. I'm happy for it to go lower.
Yeah.
See, like your 75%.
I find that there's a few things about it that have become the GTK standard. That are terrible for other.
Yes.
And and I'm talking about breaking things, not just inconvenient, but some stuff you can't do at all unless the application puts in certain widgets. I think what do you call it? Lutris was a great example of that. I had to sort of argue with the Lutris people to get them to put in like close buttons in places because GNOME just expected everything to be up in the bar.
So where would you put it?
I would put it in decent. It's definitely not bad. I mean, again, it's the wording is maybe the issue here. But if I ignore the wording and look at the gradient there, then decent is where I would put it.
Yeah. Think of it on a list of A star, A, B, C, D. Can I even change it?
Yeah, B's fine. B's definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I could do A. I could do. There we go.
Well, the thing is, you're gonna with A star, you're gonna offend Hamish and me anyway. So. A stars are grade inflation bullshit that came in after us.
Okay, S. They say S tier. That's
that's Japanese nonsense.
Oh my god! Pick your Japanese.
Why not just put A B C D E? Go all the way down.
Oh, fine. All right.
To be honest, Drew, I don't even have A's and B's and stuff. I had numbers.
Did you? Oh, because Scottish, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Of course.
They do that. Don't they do that everywhere now?
Oh, I don't know. It's bollocks anyway. It's
NA.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I do
really,
no opinion never.
Pass or fail is really all that matters at the end of the day with these things.
Yeah.
Because they're not really a very accurate way of testing people anyway.
So what were you saying?
I'm happy with the C. I'm happy with C for that.
What were you saying for GNOME, Chris? What was where were you leaning?
I was really leaning on the precipice between B and C. I was really hoping that you.
So we're all on that line. We're all on that line. It's C plus B minus.
I lean towards B, but I think it's a bit unfair. I think it deserves a C, really.
Okay. Yes, and I'll tell you why.
Especially when you take the corporate stuff and all that into account. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think I agree. Like, one thing that is a big point, and it's a bit of a small, silly point, but I think fucking around with the system tray, even though they've write a course on that breaks some things as well. Like, I know that the system tray can be overused, but there is a use for it. Like, I've got a VPN.
Well, there is for you. I mean, I don't have one, and I don't miss it, but for you there is, and that's fine. Yeah.
If there's something that you need to keep looking at to make sure it's still activated, having a little thing, even though, right, we did, but then, like, you still have to do something. I want to be able to. I want a dashboard that I can look at, even just for a few small things. But even
I get it.
With Control Alt and O, it gives me the time in time zones for a bunch of places because you helped me with that script there.
Yeah,
and it also gives me the date, but it gives me the date in year, month, day, because that's how I name my files in almost all cases. Is I start off with the official proper way of doing the date.
Yeah.
So it helps me because with the it gives it right there laid bare. But for the time, I just want to be able to keep an eye on the time. Like, it's, I don't want to have to keep going, doot for the time. The date, fine. Like, I don't need to know the date.
I don't have appointments or anything, so that's less of a concern for me. I think if I did, then maybe I'd feel differently.
I mean, if I didn't have it at the thing, maybe I'd have a clock in the room, but a clock on the computer is easier because it's smaller, and, like, I don't have to change the batteries, or I don't have to change it at daylight savings time or anything like that. Or I'd just be looking at my phone, like. Yep. Which to be honest, I like when when I'm often doing things on online, I'll throw my phone over there and just, like, it'll be out of arm's reach. I won't use it.
Yeah. I suggest we go a bit more quick fire, because otherwise we are going to be here for about a week.
All right, cool. How do you feel about cinnamon?
I don't like it, never liked it. I think you're taking GNOME, which was doing something interesting, and making it do Windows fucking 95 again. And I hate that paradigm.
A lot of people like it, but I also agree with
they're wrong.
It's like, why are they doing it again?
Yeah. I hate cinnamon. Cinnamon would be F for me. But I know people are going to hate me in this video, because I know cinnamon is loved. Cinnamon has been loved by idiots who like Windows 95 paradigms.
People are going to hate me, those idiots.
I might as well lean into it, but for me it's an F. But now I concede the floor.
I do understand that things like Mate and XFCE can fundamentally get you there. When I was helping my parents move on to Linux, I put them onto Linux Mint, because that is basically the obvious one, and Linux Mint comes in a few flavors. I think with I can't remember if it's my mum or my dad, I put them onto the XFCE version of Mint, because that's got some good presets, but it's also user-friendly, but it's also light, because it was second-hand ThinkPads that they were setting up. And they had zero issue with it. And I think my dad might have been on Cinnamon, and they had zero issue with it. So I think from a not necessarily from a non-Linuxy person's point of view, I think they. I think XFCE isn't. I think it is user friendly. I think it's probably as user friendly as Cinnamon if you set up defaults like they did in Linux Mint. So I think that there is a duplication of efforts. I also don't think it's as light as I think it could be lighter, but I'm going to say that about anything that isn't that's heavier than XFCE, if I'm honest. So I think, but I don't think it deserves the F. I'm inclined to put it at a D.
Why? I'm happy with the D actually for it. Yeah.
Why would you say, given everything you just said, why doesn't it deserve an F? What is it? What's its reason for being?
Oh, because it does work. Like the people, like with Linux Mint, you can put someone on it, and they're and they'll have no problems with it.
But that's not a reason for being. If you could equally put them on something else, then it doesn't have a reason for being. If it doesn't do something that nothing else does, or do something better that
Well, you could say that about almost everything here.
Yeah.
You should only have
surely
options in total.
But surely
base one fancy one, and one middle ground.
But look at it this way: it starts at an F, and if it does something better than other ones, then we put it up, or if it does something that other ones don't do. But it doesn't seem to do any of that.
It's just. I think it should start. Well, I would say it should start at a C, which is why the A star or the A plus makes sense. But maybe at this point it should start at a D. Yeah, I should think it should start at a D, and it should go up or down depending on.
But if it doesn't do anything that something else doesn't do, or it doesn't do anything better, if it's not the best at anything, then why is it that high? Is what I'm asking. This isn't me arguing
D's not great. I mean, really, C is a pass. So, you just want to punish it rather than.
I do.
I mean,
for doing Windows 95 again.
It does what GNOME does. I think UI-wise better. I think the UI is really good. I just think duplication of efforts.
Again, I'm going to go along with Chris slightly again because for me personally, no, but for people that I know who have been used to those older things, it is less jarring to people. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Paradigm is crap.
I get that. But why not Mate, which already existed, or XFCE, which already existed, or
you're also coming at it from a point of view of knowing which order they existed in, and I'm not really familiar with them.
The thing is, Mate and Cinnamon were kind of they were.
I thought they were about the same time.
They were. Mate's GNOME 2. Mate's just a continuation of GNOME 2.
But it's a direct continuation. Well, although
so Mate isn't its own thing as such. Then
it's the continuation of GNOME 2 for the people who didn't like GNOME 3.
And I've got a friend who was a GNOME 2 person who doesn't like Mate.
I've heard similar opinions.
So you can and he just can't cope with it.
Yeah,
it's different enough that he can't cope with it.
Yeah,
and there are a lot of people like that who are not non-computery people who want to use the computer.
No, I do understand that. I understand that entirely. But why do we need to make a new thing that does that paradigm when we've got 20 other things?
I'm not counting. I'm not counting it as having been before or after something else. You're telling me that, and I'm not going to disagree.
I can answer that question. Okay, so GNOME went to the new GNOME 3 paradigm, right? Mm-hmm. So that obviously caused huge amounts of rifts in lots of different directions. But the two main projects that arose out of that to continue the spirit of GNOME 2 was Mate and was Cinnamon. Cinnamon started from a base of GTK3, but just decided to have... and originally, I think it was just a front end for GNOME 3 and GTK3. So all the tools in it they're GNOME-ish.
So you're saying it's a recreation? I know I'm oversimplifying, but it's a recreation of GNOME 2 in GTK3 or whatever.
Yeah, whereas Mate was a direct continuation of GNOME 2, but has been ported piecemeal to GTK3 since then. So they're basically sort of ended up at the same place that took different journeys.
It sounds to me like Cinnamon's the better one in that respect, then. In as much as it was built from a ground up perspective instead of being thrown together.
Aesthetically, I think Cinnamon is better.
That's me going by what you said. Yeah, I don't have enough experience of it as a user myself. It is something I know that I've got a couple of non-techie friends who have Linux on their systems because of me, and I look after it for them. But I don't, but the fact that they're non-tech, one of them is completely not interested in computers at all, other than as a tool. And I'm pretty sure it's Cinnamon he's on.
But did he actively choose Cinnamon comparing it to others?
Yes, I showed them a few.
Fair enough.
For that paradigm, I think Cinnamon does work quite well. In some ways, if Cinnamon was more polished, I would definitely put it on a tier of GNOME. But it is just it's more a subsidiary of GNOME 3 than it is.
I would add to my argument and say...
you want us to move along here, so I'm saying D is my answer.
In my experience, on top of the rest of what I've said, it is also janky as shit.
I don't... that might.
It's not. Like, it's
have you daily drivered it enough to know that? I don't think it is.
Yes, but
I don't think it is.
Not for a while. I'm angry with it being above E, but I accept it.
Fine. That's where.
I mean, the C to D is the fail point. So it's already in the bottom tier. We can reconsider it if we see some others and we want to move them around. I think.
Okay, yeah.
Let's jump straight on to Mate, which I think I'm going to just put D. I want to put as D as well.
Put it the same place. Yeah.
I put that higher because it is because it existed before. Yeah, I don't feel strongly about it. I'm not gonna.
It's a little bit.
It's not
like dated.
But so is XFCE, and that's an
A. Yes, but it's dated. But it's also better. Like it's dated in the way that some of the things that we liked about GNOME 2 have carried on, but like we've come up with better things for that now. XFCE is like it is dated. There's
a couple of things on the list I see are missing in that would get me to have a different opinion of things. But
we can slot them in the end.
Yeah. But some of the arguments that are coming up for these things, like, is it easy for beginners? Is it dated? Is it up to date? Is it flashy? There's a lot of different. Yeah, carry on with this discussion.
Okay. There's a lot of development behind it. Like it's got a lot of history behind it. Like it's had a lot of time to polish off the soft edges a little bit. So I maybe C.
Okay. What about we put Cinnamon down to E and put that into D?
Would that
be more for Drew?
That's almost correct to me. Yeah.
Okay, but I also.
Are you happy with that though? Go on,
yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's like. I mean, it makes sense to like use the full width of the spectrum because I think it's quite
spectrum. Yeah.
Like something's got to be an F.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the videos you've done like this, you've kind of clumped.
Yeah.
And a sort of.
To be fair though, like with distros, like. Most distros are good.
Yeah.
Well, the ones that survive anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Unity.
All right. How about Hamish? Hamish, go first. But you're on a timer.
I just think does it still exist?
No.
Yes.
No.
Does it?
Oh. Yeah. There's. I think there's even a Unity Ubuntu.
I didn't think it still existed.
No, I think the same as this as I do of GNOME. It's a lot worse even than that. I think Unity is the very best. The very best I could give it is an E.
I really liked Unity when it came out. I thought it was an interesting paradigm.
It was just the same as GNOME. It was just the same as GNOME.
I like GNOME as well. I thought that way of organising because our monitors have become wide rather than tall. So having a dock thing down the left and then basically maximising every window. I think that's a very usable way to use a computer. I liked Unity, but it was a very canonicalized. It was it required copyright signing over to Canonical. They did it all in house. They didn't work with other projects. So, because I think in terms of for me, what it was, I put it at B or C, but that Canonical stuff takes it down to a D or E.
All right. Okay. I see. I mean, I was. Ooh. I totally agree 100% with the screens being wide thing, and if you're going to have graphical elements, have them on a side panel. I agree with that, and I actually do.
Yeah.
There's issues with that, and I don't know if we've really got time to talk about it today because it'll come up when we get to Plasma, I suppose. But yeah, for me, Unity was again we're back to that phone interface style thing as well. I felt. A
little bit of that, yeah. I mean, they were definitely going, yeah.
There was one.
Well, remember, do you remember the birth of Unity was for netbooks, though. It was very limited screen space, and that's where Unity came into being was for netbooks. I'm pretty sure about that.
One thing about Unity I really liked is that you could do a setting that allowed you to have the file, edit, view menus in the taskbar.
Yeah,
I know. See, this is great for me because I'm an Atari ST person.
Yes,
so anybody that had a Mac in the 80s and 90s, or an Atari ST, or an Amiga, that's and it was a good idea as well.
It was a good idea.
That's a good use of space.
Yeah,
that's another reason why that works. Whereas the current paradigm seems to be to hide the menu or show the menu, hide show menu. And yeah.
Part of me.
Can you get it to do that for everything? This is another thing with these
it's
desktops.
It's got to be supported.
Does it have to be written for it? If something has to be written for a toolkit, it has to be specifically set up.
That's another thing.
That's a bit of a bad thing. It has to be set up for a desktop environment. That's a terrible thing.
It's another thing that GTK3 fucked with. It lost the ability to do that. But Chris, what's your take?
I'm thinking if we I think we're a bit out of touch of it at the moment, because I think that the project has continued in the shadows, and if it has fixed a lot of the canonical problems, because obviously a canonical have abandoned it. I can easily imagine a scenario where we all go out and try it out and say it's not for us, but it's doing what GNOME tried to do but better. I can easily imagine that scenario.
No, absolutely, yeah.
To me, I liked what it did in a lot of cases. I even liked the aesthetics of it and all that kind of stuff. But the thing that really brings it down is it was the canonical in-house. They didn't work with other distros.
I mean, I wasn't on Ubuntu at the time. I experienced it on Ubuntu, obviously, because it's the only place you could really use it. I think there was an Arch port, but I don't think it worked very well. Like at that time, before I'd found Tyler's, if I could have used Unity on Arch, I would have, but I couldn't have. But part of me just wants to put it above Cinnamon, because that's going to piss off the Cinnamon users.
You
so
really
much.
hate Cinnamon, don't you?
I do.
I'm willing to go to a D list if you take into account that it still exists and people are working on it. Then fair enough.
Yeah, it might have a different name or something, but that's
no, see, that's different. Something, isn't it? And we're in the world of Unix, Linux.
I'll have a quick Google.
Whatever.
Yeah, because is it not like you? But I think. See, the thing is, I think I can be swayed either way on it. But it did a few things that GNOME did, but it kept things like the system tray. It kept I think it did the panel quite well. I think the keyboard, it was quite keyboard centric, and it kept sort of trying to introduce you to keyboard layouts, which is a bit pushy, but I think it was trying to broaden people into
it's one of those things I don't like about GNOME that I can see why it exists and why it works with something like the Mac or whatever, is the sort of we say thing, and I think it had a very, very heavy we say so.
Yeah,
which puts me off.
It does seem to still exist, and it does seem to still be called Unity. It is now based on GNOME rather than whatever it used to be based on. So they switched that, but I think I'm happy with D.
Okay, yep.
I'm happy with D. D is acceptable to me.
What's next?
All right. Should we do Plasma?
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a big one for me as well.
For me, I do not want to use it. I don't enjoy using it. It's got too many settings. It's got too many fiddly bits. It kind of looks a bit ugly by default compared to something like GNOME. It doesn't have the nice padding and design touches. But I think, again, similar to GNOME, for what it's going for, it hits it perfectly, and for that reason, I think it should be an A. Honestly,
yeah, I think it's not perfect, but it is. You can, with effort, make it do anything you want.
Yeah.
I think it's meaningful and interesting that Valve for the Steam Deck went with KDE/Plasma for the desktop.
And also, side note to that is that you hear very few non-Linuxy people complain about how hard it is to use. I've not once heard people I know that have never touched Linux in their life, got a Steam Deck, tried the desktop mode, they took to it.
And you can configure it. You can configure it to work well. The way GNOME or a Mac works. You can configure it.
Yeah, you can make it look almost exactly like a Mac or a Windows or whatever.
But not just look, like actually work that way
and behave like it as well. Yeah.
And it also does that. I think it can do that little thing where you put the menus in the title bars. No one ever seems to select that setting, but it's very customized.
I'd also make the argument that a lot of cool software just comes out of the KDE project. Like KDE Connect is really cool. Critters is really cool. Like a lot of stuff that a lot of people use, even if they don't use KDE.
They still use the KDE applications. Sorry. Can I address the menu bar? Oh shit! Feck! I forgot what it was. I don't want to interrupt because it feels rude, but then I lose my thread. Quite easily. On the idea of having like the menu bar in the panel or whatever, however you want to describe it, you can also make it look like an Amiga or an ST or something if you really want to try. If you've got the graphical
from Hamish then.
I just think I think out of all the big discs or the heavy ones you want to call them that, it is the best by far because you've got the options.
If we're talking about
out of the box, it's not great, but then almost every distro has has put an effort into setting it up. Any distro that just gives you the default KDE without any effort, they're not a distro. If they're going to make a KDE version,
that's Arch though. To be fair,
that's Arch. Yeah.
KDE, I think KDE out of the box is. But maybe our experiences out of the boxes is different. But I've always felt that KDE out of the box is fine. Like, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. It's usable, but but it's so set up. The problem
you're meant to configure it. KDE is one of those ones.
It's one you're meant to set it up yourself afterwards.
Set it up. Yeah.
Now, having said that, I must actually caveat it. I might have to A- it slightly for a few reasons.
Okay.
Most recently, well, particularly since it became Plasma, KDE 4 onwards sort of thing, or somewhere in the 4 it changed. There's quite a few little things that they are deciding by default that they flip-flop on, and it messes with the system a lot, and I think they've introduced a lot of bugs like that. One thing in particular, just one example, there are a few, but this is the one that comes into my head, is... And this polarizes people, which is why it was such a flip-flop thing for them. If you're opening a graphical file manager, do you want to single-click or double-click to open a folder?
Oh, double-click.
Double-click.
You're both double-click, right? See, I was vehemently double-click for a long time. And then I sort of got used to the single-click.
Yeah.
The thing is, they've flip-flopped on that twice at least, I think. Okay. And they have now broken it. To the point where you can't just set it in one place.
That is the KDE caveat. It is never stable. Like the transition from, was it 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 that was like really
3 to 4 was 3 to 4 was a fucking
It took
and then
years.
Qt goes on updates, so KDE decides they've got to update everything. It never stabilized. KDE 3 although it was in that sort of older style that Drew hates, it was pretty much perfect because it had stabilized and sat for a while. KDE 4 was a fuck up and a PR disaster. So they immediately, as soon as Qt 5 came out, they went, right, let's just change everything. But nothing. It still looks the same. To my mind, Qt 4, 5, and now 6 are all basically the same.
They look the same. They look the same, and they seem to work the same as far as I can tell when I use it.
So I don't see the point of the version numbers going the way they are. And it's the same with KDE.
That might be something on the. When we were talking about Qt being two separate things, that might be something that's more corporate than.
Yeah, maybe. So I don't see that. Yeah, so and that's another. Just to say that the single click, double click thing is a broken thing at the moment.
I still think it deserves A. I think it's a low A, but I think it's A.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I was going to say is in that respect, there's a lot of stuff that still uses Qt 5 and some stuff that uses Qt 6. And if you're not running a desktop environment that knows about that, getting conformity is a fucking nightmare again.
Yeah, although actually I do find that because I use XFCD, the Qt apps usually have their own their own theming, as in it's a Qt theme, but there's a few sections like my KeePass uses, or KeePass XC uses the Qt, but it says I can select in the application if I want light mode, dark mode, different styles, which I think was a deliberate choice by the Qt KDE people, because they to try and improve KDE apps that weren't on KDE, and I think they seem to have done a really good job at that from my end, it seems.
Some apps they've done it well, some they've not, and also they make it becomes pent up. The point, if you're going to have a desktop environment, it should be in control of everything, and the problem there is that they're not. This is why there's projects exist, like XDG or whatever, Open Desktop, or all these things, whatever they're called. There are projects that exist supposedly to fix these things. Yeah. But they just become a different set of standards. It's the XKCD joke of, that we've got 6 standards that are all competing. There's this new thing we're going to do that's unify everything, fix everything. 1 year later, we now have 7 competing standards. It's that joke. Yeah. And it's the problem is because it's, for example, just talking about your menu bar in the panel thing, for example, that has to work very specific way and be conformed to like Open Desktop and XDG and all that, whatever these different things are. I never remember them. I never keep them straight in my head anyway. So it has to conform to that perfectly, or else it becomes janky and doesn't work between applications. And it breaks the whole point of having a desktop environment where that you like that, for example, would be that you want everything to work that way. And if it doesn't, then it's not. And that's a problem with toolkits and widget sets and stuff, not with the desktop itself. And the point is that if you have a desktop itself, it should be the arbiter of all of that.
I mean, that's the dream, but but it feels like a very difficult one that, but like...
it's not something we can solve in the choice world, the choice universe of Linux. But I think one of the best ones for it is KDE. KDE stroke Plasma is one of the best ones at managing that, and they will take into account GTK applications and even some other smaller that are at least close to compatible. They will make a little bit of effort to bring them into the fold.
Yeah, the only
so I think the overall out of the box, the most unified experience is Plasma.
I think I can agree to that. Especially,
I would say. Sorry, go on. Sorry, Chris. Go on.
I would say, especially if you fold into people's expectations and stuff. And I think its success on the Steam Deck basically kind of are a testament to that.
Yeah,
I think that the Plasma folks are trying to move to a 6-monthly release cycle, which apparently, because of the way that they sporadically upgrade, is the reason why not that many distributions use it as their default environment.
Heard that before, yeah.
So I've heard that that KDE are going to try and move to a 6-monthly cycle if they haven't already, and then we might start seeing that become more used on more defaults. That being said, though, of course, SteamOS being the immutable style of operating system, it doesn't matter to them as long as they've got a working KDE, then they can ship it. And the only thing I will say against it is that it is slightly corporate-y in that Qt is not necessarily like a completely free software project, but more so,
Well, that argument's existed a long time. I mean, they changed the license almost immediately after the backlash when it became a bit more popular.
I mean,
then people always throw that back in their face now, and even though most of it's not true.
Like the KDE project isn't owned in any way by Qt or Qt or I think even particularly direct. I think they are very separate. You're not wrong. There is a connection, but I think it's a very loose connection.
Okay, I mean,
we're talking about 15, 20 years since it was separated.
Yeah. So
people still say, "Oh, that's their argument for it." It's like the old, Linux for the server, Windows for the desktop. Bollocks. It's that same sort of argument. It's like specious argument at best anyway, and it's based on a pinpoint in time that they want to stick to. It's like British nationalism in that respect.
May I?
Yeah.
No, after you.
Oh no! I say, if that is basically what you're saying, a non-issue, then I'm fine with that being an A, and I think we can,
Okay, may I offend i3 users next?
Yeah. God, we haven't given.
Why are there two i3?
No, there's two IWMs as well. Yeah. Okay, so i3 is the tiler that introduced me to tiling. Like a lot of people, it was the first tiler that I think I had to go with Rat Poison way back in the day, but
I had Rat Poison. Yeah, loved it.
It was the first tiler that made configuration easy, I would say.
That's fair. But I would say it is the tiler that
showed the power of tiling over, it was the one that got, I think, a lot of people over the hurdle of how the fuck is this supposed to work? It was the one that made tiling mainstream, if you like, in a joking way, I suppose.
Yes, but it does everything that it does regarding tiling and the way a window manager can work. It does incorrectly. It does it in the wrong way.
I know what you mean.
It's manual tiling, which is the wrong way to do tiling. It still has title bars. I think by default it still has title bars, which is the wrong way to do it. It handles, it has title bars. It handles in certain situations. I think it depends on whether the window is whatever. It has that stupid stacking mode and the tabbed mode and all that stuff.
I like that.
That's pointless. and I can't remember how it handles desktops or workspaces or whatever, but I remember it doing that slightly wrong. So for me, it's the tiler that gets people onto tilers, but I think a lot of people stick with it who should find something that matches more specifically how they want a tiler to work.
I
can't imagine that the way i3 does it is perfect for anyone.
It's baby's first tiler.
I like all of the bad things you said about i3 are things that I like about it. So
you like why would somebody new to tiling want manual tiling rather than automatic?
Because when you move over to sometimes it's when you move over to like Linux from Windows, right? A lot of people go to, how do I get the application that I'm using on Windows to work on Linux, rather than how do I solve the problem? And I think a lot of that is with i3. When someone moves over to i3, they're going to bring with them a whole bunch of applications that they're very attached to using, and i3 gives the flexibility of being able to transition into a tiler a lot more gracefully. Or just use.
You've kind of remade one of Drew's points for you, though. Is why would people stick to it afterwards?
Yeah,
I think
because it's a transitional thing. Yeah.
I mean, once you've got it the way that you like it, it's great.
But it can't be. It can't. I don't think it can be perfect for anybody, because I think I've said it, but
yeah.
For me, it's D maximum.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It's the worst of all the tilers.
Outrageous.
I would go. I wouldn't go as low as D. I think I'd probably say B or C, because of that introducing people thing. But as something to set on a driver.
I would like a better one to be the one that introduces people. People would be better off on BSPWM than on. If you want something a bit automatic that's not going to scare you away, that's really well coded. Actually, I wish DWM did some of the things that BSPWM does in the background. BSPWM would, to my mind, be better in that role than i3.
I think from the versions that I've seen, like out of the box, it actually kind of fills a lot.
It is a bit overwhelming, though. It does a lot.
What's a bit overwhelming?
Awesome.
Oh.
But where would you put i3?
i3, I'd put it as a C. Because it's not. I don't think it's terrible.
A?
No, but I wouldn't put because if you compare that immediately to other tilers, no.
Yeah.
Or try and compare it to desktops. No. I think C is. I think C for me, not C minus or C plus or B minus. It is C.
What's the lowest you would go, Chris?
Probably C if I was really being dragged down by the full weight of what you were saying there, Drew.
I'll meet you halfway, and C is. I'm not happy about it, but I'll accept.
I'm not happy about it either, because I could comfortably settle for a B, but honestly, I think that it is perfect for some people's users.
I don't see it as an A. No, I just don't see it there.
So what's BSPWM?
I don't think it deserves to be punished. No, I don't. I probably haven't used that enough to know. I'm going to have to.
BSPWM does a couple of things right that DWM does wrong. It has a proper configuration file, and it doesn't include a bar by default, because I don't want a fucking bar. And it separates the window manager and the keyboard receiving program into two separate programs, which I think is a smart design decision as well. I think it does a lot right. Unfortunately, it does what's it called, binary partitioning rather than master stack.
Yes.
If BSPWM was master stack, it would be the perfect window manager.
Sorry, which is master stack and binary partitioning? So binary is when
master stack you have one window on the left, or on whichever side is your favorite. You have one window on the left and then a stack of windows on the right, and you can bring whichever window to the right to the left that you want. So that's
Awesome lets you switch that around. It's kind of like foregrounding something.
And then you always have monocle. You always have monocle mode, which puts things full screen. BSPWM, basically, when you make a new window, it occupies half of the smallest window. So you have one window, then you have two windows side by side, and then you have 1, 2, 3 with the two on top of each other, and then this bottom window will split into two horizontally, and then this one will split into two vertically.
Is that the Fibonacci way?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so you can go in, or you can do spiral inwards, or go out. You can dwindle to the corner, and that is not a sensible way to lay out windows. I can't see an argument for that way of laying out windows, so that takes it down for me.
See, the Awesome lets you do that per workspace.
Yeah,
you can define that per workspace, and it's got a graphical icon that lets you know that if you've got your bar, if you've got a bar open as well.
Binary partitioning is very memory efficient though, which is partly why. In terms of programmatically, it's incredibly simple, and that's the argument.
That's going to say in a technical sense that makes sense to me. But in a day-to-day sense,
but to use it, I want to master stack. So
I kind of use an almost I kind of use a similar setup really. Just whether it's physically in the same space or not.
Where are we putting it? I think because
I would say another argument for BSPWM is 99% of the time I'm using one window or two windows, and if you're doing that, it operates the same as a DWM anyway.
Yeah,
it's only when you go when you go above 3. But I like because
I find that sorry, on you go, mate. Sorry.
I was just going to say on a master stack layout. The only direction is up and down. You go down through the stack, and it loops around, or up through the stack. Whereas with BSPW and IWM, you've got to think directionally, and that takes more mental effort. It's more confusing, and
but it's more visual as well. It's more visual that method. Yeah. I'm happy with a B for it. From I couldn't go lower or higher for lack of experience, but I'm aware of it. But to me, it's got some of the same feelings as i3.
So what are those?
In a straight out of the box using it way, just as you say that you expect if you open let's say you opened several terminals into one screen, it doesn't look right to me how it does it.
Yeah, and Chris,
in the same way that i3 doesn't quite look right to me and how it does it.
I've limited use of BSPWM, but the time I've used it, I find it more akin to rat poison, and I've got a very soft spot for rat poison. So I'm sort of I'm inferring the spirit of rat poison onto BSPWM, and I would be
fair enough.
I'd be happy with. I mean, if you're insistent that it's better than i3, which I don't know,
and it's very well.
I'm not quite as insistent about that part.
Yeah, I'm happy to say equal to i3. But then, so B is fine. I'd be happy if you wanted to push for it to be an A. I could be convinced, but B seems to be what we're settling on, right?
Yeah, I couldn't say A for it myself.
Okay, let's do another easy one. IceWM still maintained.
It's another Windows 95 style.
It is, but it's the one that does it like very resource lightly. Basically, I think IceWM is hardcore XFCE.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I don't see much difference between things like XFCE and IceWM personally.
It's the little touches like
there's a lot of technical things underneath that are different, but
like the keyboard. It's good at peculiar like XFCE is better with things like peculiar keyboard layouts. I've got a Mac keyboard I'm on at the moment, and it's great for switching between those kind of things. Whereas IceWM, you have to, I'd have to do things like work out how to do that on the terminal. Probably
it's a bit more old-fashioned, right? Yeah. It's a bit more. It's not as complete a desktop.
I could learn to love it. But I've got it on this computer as well. It just takes so long to set up.
I'll say it deserves some props for like if you want the Windows 95-ish desktop kind of paradigm and you're working on a very low powered device, IceWM is your go-to for that.
Yeah, but it also uses the free desktop menu system, which is really odd,
horrible,
and inconsistent. Like I know that what most distros do if they're using that is they flatten it, so you've got your main categories, and then I think.
Well, you can completely. It's all text configured, so you can make your own menu. You can override that. Just make your own menu.
Yeah, you can do that as well.
But again, if you're using a desktop environment, do we want to go to that effort?
Exactly. What I would do with IceWM is what I do with XFCE is I'd have a shortcut key for Control Alt and A, and that would open up my application finder, and I'd just use that instead of so I'm happy with the C. I think it is C.
Yeah,
I feel like it deserves to be higher for no other reason than it's last.
You always want to put things higher. I know.
I do.
Yeah. Well, it's like you've got a. It's like we've got an Overton window, and your Overton. Yeah, it's like your Overton window is up at about C.
Oh no! Don't worry about the comments are going to be angry with me. I've shat on Cinnamon and I've shat on i3, and they are the two darlings of their respective, whatevers.
Actually, one thing can I say one thing before I forget it, because I will. It's when you're talking about Ice and using it. having it installed on a system. It used to be like, say, back in like the early to mid 2000s, I could have like every desktop under the sun installed and switch between them with no problem. Nowadays, there's so many things that are reliant on.
You could still do that with the window managers just fine, but you can't do it with the desktops.
Yeah, can't do it with desktops. Yeah, if you install LXQT and Plasma, you run into problems with stuff.
Yeah,
not because of LXQT, but because Plasma tries to unify KDE, Qt, and everything for your system, and that's fine. That makes sense. But yeah, it used to be that you could just install it and everything had its own config. And I can see there's pros and cons to both methods, but it's almost impossible to run lots and lots of different desktops these days. Because all the Qt ones will sort of have some sort of conflict,
treading on each other's feet.
Yeah, and the same with the GTK ones. Whether it's so you might get a bit of a difference between like Qt 3 and 5. Sorry, 4, 5, and 6 things, and you might get a bit of difference between GTK 2 and 3 things. But the ones that are using the same base system tend to trend on each other's toes, as you say. And even ones that use a completely different thing, there's obviously some, again, it might be Open Desktop and XDG and all that stuff that's causing it, but there seems to be some sort of conflict between configs in almost everything these days. And it's the same thing that causes problems using a window manager to try and unify all these things. One thing that you've run last or configured last will override other things, and it shouldn't be that way. Although that's also going against my own argument earlier that the desktop itself should be the arbiter of everything.
I mean, it should. It's not necessarily,
it should configure that separately.
Can I very briefly before you go into LXQT, can I say Qtile is A because it has code I wrote in it.
Okay.
I submitted it. It's a tiling window manager, really nice one actually, written in Python, and I submitted.
Because of that, I wanted to use it, and I just couldn't go on with it.
I tried it really early, and it had some problems, and I submitted a couple of patches, and they were accepted. So I've got a soft spot for it. So
because I'm into Python and Q. For no reason other than it's a cool letter. It's
okay.
It's early and it needs work, but I like it anyway. Yeah,
LXQT. So it's like LXDE, but with Qt or Qt.
I think it's got its own thing. I think if you're going to give XFCE an A, LXQT has to have an A.
Fuck off.
If you're going to give XFCE an A, you must give LXQT.
Yeah, no, but the reason XFCE, because XFCE for me would be C or D. It's because Chris uses it.
But this is my point. Though, if you're going to give, because LXQT to me is better than XFCE.
Okay, I'm gonna as briefly as possible say my opinion and then recuse myself. It's another Windows 95 thing that's come along after all the other ones, doing it the same thing again in a different fucking toolkit. Who fucking cares? I care about
toolkits, so I care about toolkits. So I'm one
and I like the 95 paradigm. So I mean, Hamish, if you're putting in
no, I don't think it should be an A. I don't. Under no circumstances do I think it should be an A. But if you're putting XFCE at A, there's no way it should be lower. That's the problem.
I mean, how about a B?
If you're going to say no. If you're going to have XFCE for the style and paradigm that it is as an A, then there's no reason to put LXQT lower. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've kind of taken that out of my head for other ones like Cinnamon and Mate and Unity.
I think you have to do. I think because of what we're doing here, I think you have to look at XFCE's A as an exception because it's Chris's veto. It's not. Mark LXQT how you would mark it, regardless of where XFCE is.
Okay. I think it's unfair, but I think okay. I'd put it as a B or an A B or a C. Sorry.
I really like it. I like it, and you've convinced me with Plasma that the Qt issue is not an issue. Ergo, it gets the thumb up from me, and I'd probably use it if I wasn't using XFCE. I think it does a lot of XFCE things better, just because the toolkit's better. Personally, fair opinion. Do you want to go to LXDE? Keep things brisk, because that's kind of similar, but with GTK.
Oh God, what's that one?
It's not really maintained anymore. So that's
it was. No, what it was. The thing is, LXDE was dumped. To because what they were doing with LXQT was the QT port of this. It's difficult. Yeah, this was getting divided, and then they unified it into two different things.
How many Windows 95s do we need?
Yeah, well, I agree in that respect. We don't need them all, but it was
the correct answer was 0.
Well, people love it. People want to use the sort of computer the way they used it all the time.
We shouldn't.
Also, I agree that we should be a lot more flexible than I am, and a lot more
and also
evolvable than I am.
But like, I don't use XFCE like with the Windows 95 paradigm. I know you
don't. Yeah.
So, and you don't have to use any of these.
Again, with LXQT, I don't use it that way either.
So,
for me, LXQT is all the nice, easy stuff of, say, Plasma or KDE, and working with KDE apps and Qt-based apps but the desktop itself isn't that. Yeah, I mean, the desktop itself isn't a big deal.
For me, obviously, the LXD is an F, but I recuse myself. So for you two, how much worse than LXQT?
It's not LXDE, right? Yeah.
How much is DE worse than QT? Is it one step worse or two steps worse?
I'd say it's D. It was messy. It was messy, and that's why they dumped it. They dumped it to make a.
Yeah, I'll go along with that. I mean, I could be persuaded higher, but I think that's fine. OpenBox though, which is the window manager. Is cool. I've never had a problem with OpenBox as a window manager.
Again, the box, Star box desktops have always been good to me, and I've never understood why any of them exist for tiny little incremental changes.
It's not the paradigm that I want, but it's again like GNOME and like whatever KDE. It nails what it's going for.
I think it's a good pre-Tyler, if you like.
Yeah, okay.
I'll give it a B. Light desktop and a Tyler,
So B sounds fair to it. Yeah, B.
Is Window Maker there? Because I love Window Maker.
Is that Window Maker?
I don't think so. I don't think it is. Drag it off into the. Oh, it's JWM. Yeah.
Oh, JWM. That's the one that.
Very similar to IceWM, really.
Yeah, that's the one that Puppy Linux uses.
Yeah,
I like Puppy Linux. Shall I bundle it with IceWM? Because it's probably.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair.
Just to get. What about Budgie?
I don't know it. Again, I don't know it.
Which piece of shit is Budgie?
It's a bit like Cinnamon. I would bundle this for Cinnamon because it's very.
Yeah.
Although, Now I just want to be clear though. Cinnamon, the desktop environment, not Linux Mint's distribution, right? Like I'm making a distinction. There's a distinction between the two.
But is Budgie Cinnamon? Is Budgie the Cinnamon's?
No, it's the Cinnamon of another distro. Like it's.
Okay.
It's got
I've heard of it.
3. It's fine. Like I like it.
Why does it exist when Cinnamon exists?
I mean, it's
control.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's designed or was originally designed for a specific. Was it designed for?
Hang on,
Solus?
it's not the. Oh, yes, was it? It's not the. It's not the.
It's not the elementary one.
No, what's the computer? The Linux computer company that made their own distro that was.
It's not Pop OS.
Right.
It's not Pop OS. Okay.
Is this? Oh, Enlightenment.
We did talk about that, didn't we, recently?
Oh, we're not finishing talking about Budgie.
Oh, sorry. Do you have?
I was looking it up while you were asking. It's apparently completely independent.
Well, is it not?
I say apparently because I'm not sure about looking at this.
Is it Solus?
But it was originally Solus. Yeah, Solus.
It was fine. It did the job. I like Solus, but yeah, it's fine.
I mean, it looks kind of KDE-ish with the Drew puts it, the Windows 95-ish paradigm. It looks somewhere in between the two, I would say.
Yeah. What's this one? This one is desktop environment, window managers. I don't even know what this is.
Ukui? Is that what that says at the end of that file name? It's just like Ukui.
Ukui PNG. UKUI PNG.
Next desktop environment. Yep. Kylin. It's from Kylin. Kylin.
Never heard of it. Never used it.
Sorry,
it's a fork of Mate.
Oh,
okay.
But I have no opinion of it because we've never
heard of it. We've never used it.
I mean, it looks
fucking elementary.
Oh, hang on.
Elementary's an easy.
Wow, right.
F.
I'm very, very quickly tell you about UK because there's only a couple of paragraphs in the Wikipedia entry. Blah blah blah. Desktop originally developed for Ubuntu Kylin, as I know, written using Qt, which is good for me. Fork of Mate though. So
that's bizarre. It does not feel or look like Mate at all.
And then
another Windows 95.
UKUI is a lightweight desktop environment which consumes few resources and works with older computers. So it's meant to be lightweight.
That's fair.
It has been developed with GTK and Qt. Its visual appearance is similar to Windows 7, making it easier for new users of Linux to come over it. And that's, it does look a bit Windows 7-y, whatever, from what I remember. Not that I've used them very much. Developed by the National University of Defence Technology, Canonical, and Kylinsoft. So there you go. Yeah.
Hang on, Razer Desktop has a pizza cutter for its logo. That bothers me in itself.
That's not a Razer, is it?
That's an F.
I don't know Razer. I don't know Razer at all.
Never heard of it. Yeah, no idea. What's the tree? The tree is familiar. What's the tree?
What's the tree?
I don't recognise the tree, but I recognise the pizza cutter.
Sway.
Oh, Sway. That's i3. That's i3 in Wayland. So wherever i3 is, that goes there. It's literally compatible with the file. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. What's this X one?
I can't find this. Hang on, I've got a feeling.
Do we know what this is a logo for?
Oh, Xmonad.
Oh, Xmonad.
Right, yeah.
Xmonad is a tiler that does things in a really interesting way, and every time I try it, I just can't get along with it. But I don't think it's bad. I just think it's people whose brains work different from mine would have a great time on Xmonad. It's written in Haskell and configured in Haskell, and that's what it is. Somewhere in the middle, I would say, for me.
C or D? We've got a lot of C's, but I only want to put it into a D because it balances the columns.
Having a bell curve is natural. I think most of them are mediocre. Some are really bad. Some are really good. That makes sense.
I mean, do you want to just give me a letter and see where it
is? C.
Okay.
Yeah.
Razer Qt was another one that the LXDE and there's another one that fell by the wayside in the wake of LXQT stroke LXDE. There was 2 or 3 desktops that were sort of, they took people and resources from each of them and unified, essentially.
Fluxbox.
It's weird open box, and I kind of like that it's weird open box.
What I liked about it was it introduced a few new, extra things.
Yeah.
But again, why not just put them in as add-ons for black box, open box, white box?
Yeah. Are you actually?
Yeah. See, I'm of the age where all these box things existed at the same time, and you could you could live switch between them as well. You didn't have to reload the whole desktop.
It was my daily driver, as they say, for a while. I like it. I like it too.
I have lived on it for a little while, not a long time, but a little while.
But does Fluxbox? Is it still with us?
I think it is.
It's a stacking window manager for blah blah blah. It started as a fork of Blackbox.
2015 was the last thing on their news page.
Stable release is February 2015.
I mean, if it's done, it's done.
That's
if you still use it, is actually more of a.
Does it break on modern systems? Is the question. Yeah.
Let's see if it's in the Arch.
Zero bugs.
If it's in the Arch repos, it still exists.
Yeah,
it is. It's in the Arch. You can install it from the Arch repos. So yeah.
Okay.
Because if something doesn't work properly, if something breaks, they do not put it in the main distro, repos.
Okay. I mean, I like it. I like the way it looks. I like the way it works.
It was fun. Coming from Windows, it was so different and so interesting that it was one of those that opened my eyes to we can do things differently.
Yeah. Enlightenment.
Absolute trash. F.
No, you're not. You're thinking of the elementary OS.
Oh, this is Enlightenment. I'm sorry. Yep. Enlightenment is one of those.
I thought for a second we were going to have a war and get cancelled there.
Yeah, because Enlightenment is another darling. Because every time I try and every time I cover it, I always get so many people explaining to me how I'm just not getting it, and I just don't.
Yes,
I am one of those people who doesn't get it. I try it periodically, and I don't get it, but I admire it.
Yeah,
and people love it.
I think what it tries to do is make a genuinely unified desktop.
Yeah.
But if you're not using their stuff, their applications, you get the same problem you get everywhere else with trying to use Qt and GTK and all that together. And I think if you just use it as it is and use their applications, it's a brilliant.
But it does feel like one of those where a very tiny minority of people are using it, but the people who use it, they fucking adore it.
Yeah. Well, I know there's somebody in my chat circles that's a dev for it.
It's certainly interesting, and I admire what they're doing. Yeah.
I just don't know how you can. It's how you can unify it with everything else is my issue.
But if you're only using that, then it doesn't matter.
It's beautiful, and it is incredibly written, and I mean, some of the projects out of it did exist in the real world, and in the wider world at some point. Like eTerm was quite popular for a while outside of Enlightenment.
B for me. What do you think?
I'd say a B. I couldn't give it an A because I think it's got a lot of the same problems as some of the others, and some of them only grudgingly got an A as it was. So,
Trinity. Right, that's the continuation of KDE 3.
Yes, it is a very interesting.
And KDE 3 had a really cool look.
KDE 3 was and when they went to KDE 4 from KDE 3, they fucked everything up.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's a ton of use.
Sorry, on you go.
Man. No, go on.
I was just going to say there wasn't as big a problem going from KDE 2 to 3 as there was from 3 to 4. And they just tried to change everything at once.
Yeah.
And there was no need for it because almost all the widgets and libraries and everything could do the same thing still.
Yeah.
So why they decided to change the defaults, if you like, for everything so quickly was just beyond me. And even when they got to Qt5 and Qt5 and Plasma 5, I still think they've never got to the level that they got with KDE 3.
No, I agree. And
a lot of projects died off because of it. I think a lot of projects were being sort of forced to update and keep up with Qt much faster, I felt, than they were under KDE 3. And I think that a lot of things we lost a lot. And also, it's around about this time that we lost control of our own browser as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Conqueror,
yeah. You might say, Mozilla was the browser, Firefox, whatever. Mozilla in general was for Linux, but I don't think it was. I think
no.
The only independent browser we had, and to prove that it wasn't crap, everybody fucking stole it. They took it all. They took all the good parts away. Like especially, one thing I liked about Conqueror was that you could have it set up in a sort of the opposite of what corporate web wants. That you could have an opt-in option for everything.
Yeah.
So cookies, scripts, all sorts of allowance, things that you allow into it were all opt-in. It was very, very svelte in its base setup.
I like browsers to do that.
Okay, that's an application rather than a desktop, but from what Drew said as well about how it came about, I think Trinity's definitely still got a place.
I will say it's a project that existed when KDE 4 was essentially unusable. but KDE3 wasn't being continued anymore because they've moved on to KDE4. It existed for that purpose so that people could carry on using KDE3. And then when KDE4 got usable, I don't. Does it have users still? I don't think it has. It certainly doesn't have many. I don't think. I don't hear of anybody using it.
It began as a fork of KDE 3.5. God, 2010. And they forked Qt as well, Qt3. So I think it's one of these things that's noble and admirable.
Yeah, I don't think I gave it a fair rating.
But it's in the same. But it's kind of in the same boat as those things trying to continue GTK2.
Is it? Do we want anything
that tries to?
I think no opinion because it's such a weird one. It's such a special case.
Yeah. I'd rather give it no opinion than a D.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
And then this final one,
because I think it's valid,
is probably not a very interesting one. Deepin.
Deepin. Yeah, I've never used it. Don't know. I have actually. I've used it very briefly. This is one that's very hardcore going for a Windows look and feel, isn't it?
I would put it in like the E section of Budgie, Cinnamon, Deepin. Yeah. They all seem to be of a likeness.
I think in some ways it's more like Enlightenment.
How so?
Because it's based on the up to date Qt, but it still has its own ecosystem.
I don't think it's
I think it does
enough.
In a way,
Enlightenment is fucking weird, and that's what makes it interesting. Deepin's not weird.
I'm not talking about being interesting. I'm talking about it being a unified.
For me, Enlightenment's up there because it's weird and interesting and doing things differently, not because it's I don't care whether it's unified or not.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I kind of see it like a Qt version of Enlightenment.
Yeah.
A sort of more mainstream thing where they've made the applications.
I'll defer to you. I've only used it very, very briefly, and I don't.
I will say that I've not used it enough, but I've at least fiddled with it as much as I've fiddled with Enlightenment in recent years, and I think it's so maybe no opinion then. Yeah.
No, I mean, are you sure no opinion? That's a bit of a cop out. I mean.
We seem to have a huge argument of where it sits, though, don't we? I would put it as a B, C at the worst, but I'm happy to have it as not tried enough as well.
Yeah,
whereas Drew wants to put it lower because of reasons.
I think I want to. I don't know. I think Hamish makes a very convincing case.
I don't get the case because it's another clone.
If you're you're talking about novelty.
Well, I'm not saying. I'm not saying novelty is the only criteria. But for me,
that's what you said. That was essentially what I got from your.
That's why I'm saying. That's what I'm saying about Enlightenment specifically. Enlightenment is up there because it's doing things differently. That's what makes it interesting. Deepin isn't doing. It's doing things exactly the same as everybody else.
I don't. See, I mean, my instinct says D. Hamish instinct is B and C. Your instinct is what, Drew? F?
I think E was fair.
E.
It's another clone of that paradigm in a whatever.
I think. Do you
want to pull it up to a D, Hamish? Do you want to use your?
See, I'd rather put it under not tried enough. I think putting it low is unfair because we don't have enough.
Okay, I will.
Information.
All right.
I think untried is a better way of putting it because it uses Qt. That's probably putting Drew off, and I can understand that because it's not something different. But it does have.
It's not the Qt-ness. I don't care what toolkit it uses.
No. I mean, you're saying Qt isn't as novel as.
Not Qt. It's nothing to do with Qt. It's the paradigm.
No. But I'm not talking about Qt being a negative. What I mean is, it's not as novel to you as the fact that Enlightenment has its own system.
No. It's not about that at all. It's about the desktop paradigm that it's presenting. It's nothing. I don't care what.
Enlightenment doesn't really have a massively different paradigm anymore than it used to.
It's calmed down
early
compared to what it used
Enlightenment.
To be. Yeah.
I think that comes into novelty factor more than desktop usability.
No, it is novelty. Yeah, it is novelty.
And that's why I think Deepin.
I'm happy to defer to Hamish on Deepin.
But I think taking into account all three of our opinions, I think it's fair to have it on not tried.
I think
for
that's
that
fair.
reason.
Yeah,
and I think we probably more people have tried Enlightenment than have tried Deepin. And Deepin is also associated with specific desktop, and I can see bad. I'm not disagreeing with the bad, the downside and the not as novel as.
I think the problem with rating it is we're both agreed that Enlightenment is a B, but for different reasons.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is as all groups.
I like Enlightenment's unified ethics.
Okay, a couple of things. We and I say we, it's really I deserve the shit. So direct your comments at me. But we're gonna get shit for Cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get shit for i3. And that should be directed at me. But I will say, okay, because we've got nothing on F. If you had to pick one of these and put it on F, which one would you pick?
Well, there's a couple that you put in that I don't know anything about that are in C, to be honest.
Yeah.
One that goes in F. Honestly, I think we just got one too many categories. If I'm honest.
Or put it another way, which one of these we've talked about, ignoring the no opinion ones, which one of those is the worst? Which one of these would you least want to use as your daily driver? Let me put it that way.
Unity. That's what I said earlier on.
Really?
And again, though, the veto has put a few things into A that I think we could all be more honest about personally, but that's...
XFCE is
I think it's... for Chris, XFCE is perfect. For you, Awesome is perfect. And for me, DWM is perfect. So.
It could be, yeah.
I mean, Qtile's a bit of a cheat, because,
To be honest, Qtile I could give more time to again.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of these... here we go. Here's... what about this? What about we very, very quickly, look, because obviously I'm aware of time, just say yes or no to each thing on the list as it is, as to whether we would try it again or not.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
An issue. Yep. All right.
Right. XFCE, no, I wouldn't.
Mm-hmm. I'd give
because
it.
LXQT exists.
It doesn't change rapidly enough, so there wouldn't be actually a point for a few years. But yeah, I'd give it another pop, see what it's doing.
Okay.
All right, so there you go. Again, I come back to it every time.
I would say no, but not out of disrespect. More like I know what Awesome is, and DWM does everything I need.
Yeah, you're techie enough to stick with DWM. Yeah.
I honestly, I no opinion. I don't know enough about it. I couldn't answer.
Fair enough. DWM, I'd say basically the opposite of Drew. Yes, I would say no, because I don't want to do the extra bit of fiddling to get it to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So similar thing. Awesome exists, so I don't need to play with DWM.
Yeah, probably not DWM.
Again, big desktop Plasma. I always go back to it for a big desktop.
I give it a try every now and then. Yeah.
Applications wise, yeah.
Same for you, Chris. Chris for KDE, yeah.
Yes, yeah. I'd use it and come back. Yeah.
Qtile, I think I would want to spend more time on again. So yes, same. I would.
Yeah.
Same with BSPWM. Yes. I think I'd want to have another look at it.
I'm always this close to switching to BSPWM just because of the things it does better than DWM. But it's that layout. Right.
I've seen some great layouts on BSPWM. Some great like desktop. What you call it? Desktop tours and things like that. I've seen some really good layouts. So I would try that again on the basis of I'd like to customize it and give it a proper go. LXQT?
No interest.
I do go back and try it.
Yeah, I'd go back and try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with OpenBox, I would.
OpenBox, it's somewhere in between. The box things are somewhere in between. For me, they're in between like a full-on desktop or a tiler. There's something an in-between thing.
For me, no, but for the same reason as Awesome. I know what it is. It's not for me, but I respect it.
Actually, in that respect, probably no to OpenBox, yes to Fluxbox.
That's, same. Yeah.
Yes to Fluxbox. I like to see how old a 9-year-old going on 10-year-old distribution is. Not distribution. Window
desktop.
Manager is desktop, whatever. Yeah. So I'd come back to it for curiosity's sake.
Enlightenment, I always look at, but I never stick. It's always a look around. I poke around it. It's like one of the shops where you go into all the time, but you never actually buy anything.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, same thing. I think I've just come to terms with the fact that it's not not for me, but I appreciate that there are a lot of people that like it.
Yeah.
GNOME?
Yeah.
Nope. Nope.
Maybe, yeah.
I was the GNOME defender. I'm going to get shit for this one as well, really. I was the GNOME defender.
Well, we were all Unity defenders, but Unity also some people like and some people don't. That's quite a divisive one either way.
It is, yeah.
Did I defend Unity at some point? I don't remember that.
No.
All right, okay.
No, solid no.
I3, no, because the other ones exist that are better.
Yeah.
Yes to i3. Yeah. I would have arguably put it into an A tier if I could.
Into A?
Yeah.
Do you want to move up to B? I mean,
no,
honestly,
we've had this discussion. We've laid it to rest.
Yeah.
IceWM.
Yeah, I'd have a look at it every now and then. Out of
curiosity. Yeah, again, it's yeah.
Well, I have.
The other one I don't know.
You know,
if I was going to use a desktop with that paradigm, with the Windows-ish paradigm, it would be IceWM.
Yeah.
For me, it would be LXQT.
JWM.
Yeah, I do every now and then just to see.
Don't know it at all.
No. I think it's one of the very earliest window managers. And
now, does it stand for Joe Window Manager?
I think it's Joe's Window Manager. Yeah.
Thanks, Joe. I like Puppy, so that's where my endearment of it comes from.
Yeah,
that's obviously very pre-configured, so I don't. That's why.
Yeah.
Maybe Sway? I've tried it in the past, but I don't remember it. Again, that's a.
Wayland. It's the only Wayland one on here, actually. Yeah,
so I've never tried it.
I don't do Wayland. After seeing you, Drew, have your problems, I'm going to stick with X for a while. You know.
Yeah. No, for the same reason. i3. It's i3 on Wayland.
Xmonad.
Yeah, I want to see if my
not
brain
enough experience of it really. So
I want to see if my brain
has look at it.
Changed enough that it makes
sense. Is that the Haskell one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mate, I would say with Mate,
no.
If XFCE looked like it wasn't going to make the jump to Wayland, although they have actually started work on it, believe it or not. So in 30 years' time, maybe we will. But if XFCE, if I need to move to Wayland, if the time has come where I don't really have a choice, and or like OBS is working really for Wayland and discontinued on X and all that kind of stuff, and Mate was the one that actually allowed us to carry on something as close to XFCE, I would give it a yes, but I would probably try QT. What's it? LXQT first. Yeah, a few first, but it would be one of the shortlist for XFCE.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do think this fits you. I think XFCE is very much the Debian of desktops. Did I say that earlier?
You didn't, but you.
I think that makes
sense. See what you're saying.
It's slow moving, stable. You know what you're getting. It's a canvas. Yeah.
Yes, but also relatively well maintained and lightweight as well.
Yeah.
Unity. I actually, as a result of today, have kind of thought, you know what, I kind of might want to check in on Unity.
No, for me.
No.
Yes, for me. I always liked the way it worked. I just wish it hadn't been a canonical thing.
Now LXDE, I'm just going to do LXDE. Do a quick Google to see if it's still maintained, because I don't think it is.
No.
Also, LXDE, that is the ugliest logo of pretty much anything ever. Like, what is it?
Forums, wiki, blog. Right, what's the latest on the blog?
18 years for national release, February 2021.
That's not that long ago.
It says here it's been abandoned.
Yeah,
but that's because what I said. It's one of the ones that became part of the XFCE stroke LXQT projects.
Yeah, so I was
what they were doing. They had LXDE and they were going to port it to QT as well. And then they decided that they weren't going to keep it up. XFCE and LXQT basically took over the projects.
Yeah, and I remember reading a lot of things saying that Qt was just a more naturally workable toolkit with what they wanted to do with that project, rather than, because I think GTK3 kind of, I could be misremembering this, but I think GTK3 kind of broke a threshold for them in that it was just too heavy for what they wanted to achieve, whereas Qt could be slimmed down appropriately.
Yeah, PC Man FM is the key to all of these, because it's what's his name, Hong Jen Yi. He's the guy that makes that.
I like PC
and
Man
therefore,
FM.
Pardon?
I like PC Man FM.
I like PC Man FM, except it doesn't do some of the things that Dolphin does, and for good reason. For good reason, it's trying to Dolphin as such.
If I wasn't on NNN, I'd use PC Man FM probably.
Yeah, I have used it as my default graphical file manager.
I should give NNN a go.
NNN's great.
NNN.
Phenomena.
Cinnamon.
Under no fucking circumstances, I'd rather use a Mac.
I wouldn't rather use a Mac, but it would be. I've given it. I've had it as my daily driver for probably several years at some point in the history, and actually relatively got on well with it. So I'm not going to come back to it because I feel like I've moved on from it. I want something a little bit more customizable, more controllable, more XFCE like. But I was happy with it. So no, but not out of spite.
I feel bad that it's only you then. You're saying
nice
things about it. But anyway, I'll go. Yeah,
disinterest. Yeah.
Budgie. Yeah, I tried it.
Same thing.
Off it,
no out of disinterest.
If there was a distro that I really, really liked, and it was like a holistic distro with lots of things that had the Budgie desktop, but it was folded into the distro in a really good way, then I'd stick it out if I wanted that particular experience.
Yeah.
But it's not the experience I really want. So no.
I think the interesting point I want to make, I'm getting to from all this is we have the choice.
It's great that we have the choice. Yeah,
it's great.
These are also
sorry, on you go, Drew.
I was just going to say DWM to Unity to what Cinnamon. They're all so completely different to KDE.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to do different things. They're doing them in different ways, and that's beautiful that we can choose the one that suits us.
Yeah.
If somebody said you can only pick one of these and never another, and that's it, you're stuck with it, I'd go Plasma.
Really?
Because it's got you can
do everything.
The easy mode stuff in there as well as the power. It's a lot more effort to get it where you want it, and starting from if you've got a more blank canvas like some DWM or whatever, even something like OpenBox, you've got a kind of a blank canvas to go from. But if you want something that's if you're forced into a position where you can only start with the big one and work from there
and be guaranteed that it will do what you want it to do.
Plasma wins out.
That's why Valve chose it, right?
Yeah. If there was one desktop environment that I would say had to be the desktop environment, all others faded away, I think I would choose Plasma. However, to answer Hamish's question, if I was going to use one for the end of time, it'd still be XFCE.
XFCE, yeah.
Yeah, how about rather than that? So the other ones are all still available. If you couldn't use the one you were using, what is the one that you would go to? I think Chris, you kind of already answered it with Mate and Cinnamon.
Maybe LXQT. Maybe I'd go Thailand. Maybe that would. I have been Thailand before. Maybe OpenBox. Oh, there's so many. I'd be fine with Fluxbox.
Why is Fluxbox not on the list? Sorry, Window Maker rather. Why is Window Maker not?
Window Maker's 8. Window Maker's 8 for me.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely an A, and is still maintained.
Yeah.
It's okay. We don't have it on the thing. Should we,
when I first used.
People will see that and get the wrong idea on a thumbnail or something.
When I first came to Linux, Window Maker is the one that I settled on for the longest time. It was the one where it made sense to me.
Yeah. It's one of the things that Steve Jobs has ever got right. Was whatever it was called, BE or whatever it was called.
Yeah. If I couldn't use DWM, BSPWM.
Yeah, that's not surprising. In fact, you've even considered using BSPWM.
Yeah, if you said to me I couldn't use Awesome or Plasma, then
would you go to play even if all the others existed? It wasn't you have to use this forever, but if you just couldn't use Awesome tomorrow, you'd go KDE Plasma.
No, you're really testing my because now that I've remembered things like Qtile exist and I can program in Python, I'm like, I'm tempted. I am still always tempted to look at other tilers. But I think Plasma. Awesome is my go-to when I feel like I want to make the effort, and I keep building slightly more every time. I have a wobble and go and try something else. I come back to Awesome and make a little bit more effort, if you like, to build it the way I want it. Whereas I think the problem with something like it's probably the same with GNOME if you're using it more often than I've ever tried it. The problem with Plasma is that you're cutting things out and trying to build what you want, rather than starting from an emptier thing, you know.
I will say, like, to stave off any anger. These are it's subjective, right? This is just how we feel about it. We're not saying
criteria and what have you.
This is not this is not objective. This is not.
I don't, even Drew and I disagreed about the difference between novelty and.
I think all three of us have covered the broad strokes of a lot of opinions that we're going to hear from. But also, please do leave your comments and feel free to get a bit angry. We're not going to take it personal. But also,
especially with Drew.
Generally people that comment on it seems to be like my videos about these kind of things, even though I talk about things that people get a bit flamey and heated about, most people generally, almost all people are generally fine. So
there was some people disagreed strongly on some of our choices on the distro one.
Absolutely, but also,
not rudely.
Not rudely, and that's totally fine. And also, I think it was like Wimpy was saying, "Boy, that's inconsistent," and I'm like, probably like. We did have some rather...
That's what gets me when you're going through the grading system is trying to be consistent in the way you grade.
There's no
when it's subjective, you can't be, and also
exactly. Which is why I felt like QT and XSE.
He's been Buntu shield, so why are we going to listen to him?
Oh, Unity, all up to A. Yeah, but okay, cool. All right, I've got to wrap it up now because I've got somewhere to be. But I think we've done a good job there, and
I think we've done great.
Thank you for joining me, folks. And let's hear it in the comments.
I'm sorry, Cinnamon users.
You're not.
It's a monstrosity. Do better.
I like it for what it is, but maybe there's a lot of those kind of desktop environments.
So fucking are.
Cool. All right.
I don't know. I have to agree with that.
Yeah. Toodaloo, folks. Bye.